NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
And a happy Saturday from NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 KDUS in Phoenix, Arizona. This is Real Hockey Talk. We're broadcasting live from Mod Pizza, located at 7480 West Bell Road. And it has a suite number, 110. But you're going to see the big sign, Mod Pizza, right off of 75th and Avenue and Bell Road. And I'm Dave, alongside Greg and Eric Story.
Hello.
Of course.
Morning glory.
And I think Rick the hockey guru might be on the line somewhere in, I think, the Mid-East.
The Mid-East?
Rick, are you there?
The Mid-East?
No, maybe not. The Middle East.
No, the East Coast.
Oh, the East Coast. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think Rick's there yet. So he'll probably be calling in.
We're Rickless.
We're Rickless. That's interesting. Yeah. So anyway, so Eric, of course, Dinner Detective, Interactive Murder Mystery, really good stuff.
Yeah. Still doing that every. We'll be twice a month here.
Yeah, not bad. And you like playing the sheriff? No, the detective, because I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy. Yeah, you remember that song, don't you?
I do.
That was a good song, right?
Bob Marley, did he write that, or did he cover that? I feel like he covered it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You're probably right. Probably a cover action. So while we're waiting for Rick, I know he couldn't have forgotten. He loves hockey.
Oh, he's calling.
He's at a golf. He has a golf tournament somewhere.
Yeah, it's tough when you're on the golf course like that. You might have to get good reception.
He's going to watch a tournament.
Yeah,
I think he said what?
Well, that's what I mean. But being on the golf course.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But yeah, he will.
You can't talk loud. You can't even clap. You got to clap with one hand. Ever try that? Yeah.
Yep, all the time. It never works.
Well, that all changed in 1996. There was a hockey player that he was struggling a little bit to stay on his team, so he decided to try his hand at golf. Carl Weathers, who had a great fight.
NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 is your place for college football.
Come on, Rob!
Check out NBCSports1060.com to see who's playing this week.
And welcome back. We were off there just for a little bit. We were talking about Happy Gilmore here from Mod Pizza off of 75th Avenue in Bell, across the street there from the Arrowhead Mall, and NBC Sports Radio AM 1060. But yeah, that made golf,
You're going to try
again? Yeah.
You're going to try to reference Happy Gilmore again without breaking the airwaves like it did last time?
I know. Thanks, Mr. Sandler.
The curse of the Gilmore strikes again.
It was Shooter McGavin.
But I think it's a good segue is what we're talking about.
Yeah, because Rick, of course, is, I think, at a golf course right now watching some golf, right? And, Rick, I think you're with us.
Hope so. Can you hear me?
Hey, there he is.
I was there on the first go-around before we got disconnected. I was hanging, but I am out here in beautiful West Des Moines, Iowa, at the 15th Solheim Cup match. Now, for our golf listeners out there, Solheim Cup is the LPGA. It's the U.S. women against the European women. It's their version of the Ryder Cup that is held every other year. And the Solheim family, Karsten and Louise Solheim from Arizona, owners of Ping Golf, are the originator of this back in 1990. So it's named after the family, hence the Solheim Cup. So it's turned into quite an event. It rotates every other year between Europe and held here in the United States. 2 years ago it was in Germany. This year it's in Iowa. In 2 years it'll be at Glen Eagles in Scotland. And there'll be about 275,000 spectators through this place between Thursday and tomorrow. So it's quite an event.
Wow, that's a large crowd there. And you're,
yes,
of course,
it is.
out there, and it's the U.S. against the Europeans. Is that what it is?
Yes, it's the U.S. against the Europeans. The overall record, the U.S. has won this 9 times. The European gals 5 times. We're in the middle of the Saturday, what we call the 4-ball. So in the morning they have alternate shots. So you have 2 players that play alternate shots. And then this afternoon they have 4 matches where you have 4 golfers from each team, and they play their own ball and take the best score. I think we're in the middle of a complete rout by the United States if it keeps going the way it is. They're playing incredibly. They swept yesterday afternoon. They're looking to do that again this afternoon, and it could be over pretty early tomorrow for the U.S. to keep the cup. But, anything can happen, but they're playing just incredibly well.
That's awesome and exciting. Of course, last week you were up in Canada somewhere, right?
Yes,
actually
British
golfing.
Columbia. We were. I was up with some of my buddies, my hockey buddies, Barry Gibbs and company, and some other older veterans, and we were playing in a couples golf tournament up in the Shuswap area of British Columbia, which is in the Kamloops, Kelowna region. Very beautiful country.
What's the name of that region again?
Shuswap.
Shuswap.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been to the airport when they go, hey, you want a Shuswap?
Yep.
Ever have that? And then you sit down, they Shuswap your shoes, and it's pretty good.
Little different, but no, it's beautiful up there. Beautiful.
And then, of course, your home city of Boston right now, hopefully it's peaceful. It was when I left. Large crowd out there, so just let's hope for peace out there in Boston, your hometown.
Let's hope.
Yeah,
we don't need any more chaos going on in the country. No, we don't need that.
No.
Hey, Rick, what's going on with David Pastrnak? I mean, I know this is all part of the negotiation, and I'm sure everything will work out, but, it's still out there as an RFA. When do you see this contract getting done? Is it something that you think?
I'll put it this way: it better get done, because the Pastrnak is interesting. Because I was going to, kind of flip this into my what did I learn is the Leon Draisaitl signing this week by Edmonton has a profound impact on the David Pastrnak negotiations. Very similar. Points they had this year, third year in the league. Pastrnak, 39 goals, 70 points, is really a rising star. And I believe the offer was like 6 years at $6 million was turned down. Now, Draisaitl is at 8.5. I think it's going to get done, and it'll get done before training camp, but it's going to be north of 7. It's probably going to be in the 7.5 area. The Bruins have the money to do this. I think what they're doing is they're looking ahead. They're either $10.5 or $11 million under the cap. But Brian Lawton stirred things up this past week on a blog saying that don't be surprised if the Bruins trade David Pastrnak. And he said that because if you look at their track record, there's been 4 players that had similar situations within the Bruins that were all traded, and all, frankly, were disasters. The first one, Joe Thornton. The second one, Phil Kessel. Now, Phil Kessel wasn't exactly a disaster. They got some things for him. The third one was Tyler Seguin. They did the same thing with him to Dallas. And then the last one was Dougie Hamilton 2 years ago. And basically all those pieces from those trades are gone. I would fall off my stool here if they did number 5 and traded a guy like David Pastrnak, because they've got this core of Pastrnak, Brad Marchand, and Patrice Bergeron that's pretty good company, and they want to keep that intact. So I think you'll see Pastrnak in the Philippe Forsberg, Nashville Predators, very similar situation. So it should be north of 7, but I think they'll get it done.
Yeah, you hope so for Boston.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, as
I
long as
so
the
too.
key is before training camp, because you never want to go into training camp with that, because then, you get the player joining the team late and sometimes distraction
all that
right.
stuff. Nothing good happens there. So I'm feeling confident. They're not going to let a guy like him go away, and they couldn't handle the media blitz if they were to do this again, because that would be horrible.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brian Lawton might be a nice guy, and but I don't necessarily trust what he says. He's the same guy when he was GM of the Tampa Bay Lightning. He didn't trade Paul Ranger for a young Claude Giroux. So
yeah, I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know why he
crazy.
did that. I know he's on the NHL Network, and he's from Rhode Island, so he is a New Englander. And he was the first-round draft pick that really was basically a disaster as a first-round draft pick, and he had a cup of coffee towards the end of his career with the Bruins. But he, I don't know where he got that. It was unfounded. It was not documented. But like anything else, it's opinion, and he fired one out there.
Yeah.
Wow. So what did you learn this week, Mr. Rick?
Isn't that what he learned?
Whoa,
is that what you learned?
That's kind of what I learned. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it with that, but I'm gonna say one thing a little bit different. I'm gonna flip to our friends north of Arizona up there in Las Vegas, where I called in last time. I wanted to. What did I learn?
You probably have the same one as me.
Well, all right. Well, sorry. They named their play-by-play announcer, Dave Gauthier, who was the former play-by-play announcer of the Boston Bruins. Who
Is that right?
Was on yes, so he was radio with the Bruins on WBZ radio, and Bob Beers, the former defenseman, was his color commentator, and lo and behold, he signed the contract with the Golden Knights this week to be their play-by-play announcer on their TV affiliate, and he's fantastic. And the Boston connection in Las Vegas continues because our friend Eric up there, VP of Media, clearly had a hand in this.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's hats off to them. Yes. So.
Yeah.
So that means you're going to be spending a little more time in Las Vegas then, Rick.
Well, you know what? You're gonna love this. I've already got planned the St. Patrick's Day weekend coming up in March in Las Vegas through my contacts. We're going to go up there and see 2 games in 3 nights: the Minnesota Wild and the Calgary Flames. So we've already got that on the docket. So book that. I'll be calling in from Las Vegas that weekend.
Man, how fun is that?
I understand St. Paddy's Day is quite a popular event for Bostonians.
Especially in Boston. It usually starts around 1:01 in the morning from the previous night and lasts till about 12:59 that night. No, it's not just a day; it's an event, and it's everybody. Nobody goes to work. It's a drinking celebration. You don't even have to be Irish to do it. It's pretty notorious. So I would suggest for everybody stay off the streets of Boston that day if you're driving.
The whole city goes to cheers?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
It's pretty crazy.
Man, okay, so that's good learning. Yeah. So, Greg, is that – oh, go ahead, Eric.
Rick, I have a question for you. I'm looking at Pasternak's stats here, and when you threw out the number $8.5 million, that was a surprise. Is he worth $8.5 million?
Well, he's getting compared to look at Leon Draisaitl's numbers.
Yeah.
They're very comparable. So to look for, if you were going to do any type of negotiation, you'd look at a Draisaitl, you'd look at a Philip Forsberg to find out where Pasternak's going to land. And he's in that 7 to 8.5 range. 6
he's really
is, good for me, but not good for him. It'll be north of that.
Now, one thing with that is with Draisaitl, he's the center iceman, and a lot of times they're valued a bit higher. So, so I agree. I think it will be less in that 7 range, a little less than Draisaitl. But yeah, I also learned some fun stuff about Vegas. I did hear that, but mine is a bit different. It's how exciting this is that they're going to these non-NHL areas and cities and states and doing their things there. They were just in Salt Lake City. Gerard Gallant was there. I think there's been time, or they're going, Montana. And so these
Bozeman.
Oh, it's great. And so not just the kids, but, adults that may not have an NHL team right now, but maybe hockey fans, or they'll convert them to hockey fans, will start to really enjoy Vegas. And, even though you're not in Vegas per se, since a lot of people enjoy going down there, they might adopt them as their team. And I think it's nice what they're doing, and Jar Gallant being part of it. It's man, it's exciting with Vegas.
It is.
They're a marketing genius.
They are. Yeah, great organization already.
Man, that is
well,
so
they
exciting.
even put their single-game seats, when they put them on sale this past week, they put them on sale by region. They went Montana, Idaho, Montana, all around the regions to make it available to those people, kind of like in a lottery, to get the whole region of that part of the country excited, and they're nailing it. I mean, they're hitting on all cylinders. They had a blank sheet of paper to do this, and so far they're getting high marks.
That's fantastic. All right, so Greg, that's what you learned.
That's what I learned.
Not a bad learning. Eric, what do you got?
We might have to jump over to the after
we're-
the break here, but I've got.
That's right.
I did just read an article about John Tavares and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
So we'll do that after the break, because we are live at Mod Pizza, located at 7480 West Bell Road. That's 75th Avenue and Bell Road. Come on down. We're here till 3. They're open, I think, till 10, maybe 11. But great place, great pizza, great salad. We'll be right back after these words.
The NFL season never stops, so stay up to date with Pro Football Talk Live with Mike Florio. Weekday mornings on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060.
And welcome back again. You're listening to Real Hockey Talk live from Mod Pizza, located at 7480 West Bell Road in Glendale. That's 75th Avenue and Bell Road. A great, great place. Custom-made pizza, actually. You go down the aisle and select your ingredients, fresh and crisp and delicious. They also have great salads here. By the way, Greg and Eric and Rick, the hockey guru, I had the cinnamon strips the other night. They're really good.
Yeah, they are.
They have them, and very, very reasonable prices there, by the way.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with cinnamon anything.
No, it's really, really good. So let's go to so Rick, the hockey guru. Are you still there?
Rick has left us? Oh.
I think.
Oh, he's there.
And Rick.
I'm here.
Oh,
Well, I was
there you
going
are.
to say, Eric wants to talk about some John Tavares,
What
little
did he learn?
hypothetical from, I think it was Craig Button.
Yes.
Whose
Yeah.
nose looks like a button.
Another rumor.
So he
Yeah.
you've heard it?
Oh, yes. Everyone's heard this
Yeah, but-
one. But go ahead.
Button
Go
and
ahead.
Tavares potentially hitting the open market next year. The proposal from Mr. Button is Toronto signs him to a one-year deal, based on the fact that they've got a lot of young guys on entry-level contracts, and obviously, if Tavares wants to go somewhere with some future winning potential, and under a decent little coach that they have over there, that he might be interested in the
Toronto.
in the Toronto's future, betting on a winner.
My. Wow, that'd be awesome for Toronto. Huh?
Marian Hossa did something similar in 2008 when he signed with the Wings, another team coached by Mike Babcock.
yeah.
Whoa.
It's an interesting premise in that regard, because that's before some of the other, big deals with some of the young guys will kick in once they re-sign, Matthews, all those guys, to their non-entry level deals when those are up. So, yeah, you could do that, improves the team, and obviously he would put up great numbers there. They probably wouldn't be able to re-sign him after that due to the cap. But, that's interesting, actually, what Button says. I don't think it will happen, but I don't think he'll be with the Islanders past next year. I think he'll leave. They may trade him at the deadline if they see he's not going to re-sign, or he'll be the biggest name in years to really hit the open market, which will be a very exciting time. Rick, what do you think about it?
My feeling is that Tavares is going to go the same route of Steven Stamkos. he's going to sign with the Islanders. He's expressed interest in staying there, and he's got a year to get this thing done. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I think a lot just depends on how they do this year. If they make big strides back up again, and they have a lot of good young players coming up. I mean, they got some of that. But also, the ownership there I don't think is the greatest, and the issues, obviously, with the Brooklyn arena, things like that. So that's why I feel at the end of the day, we're going to see him leave, but it will be something to really watch throughout the season,
It will.
Because, you never know what could happen with that.
I know that in the NBA that the team that the player is with before he hits free agency does have the ability to sign him to a larger deal than any other team could in order to keep the players there. I don't think hockey's got anything like that.
They can. Yeah, you can offer 8 years if he was on your team. If he wasn't,
additional 1 year.
Yeah, because if he doesn't,
he
can
max.
only do 7. Yeah, so you do get the 1 extra max here, but
7 years still feels like enough to dissuade any player from having that player factor.
If they could offer a little more average and plus, maybe it's a place he'd rather play, a contender, or maybe the cost of living, everything like that. So it's exciting, really, when you have a player like that could potentially be moved or hit the open market, in a year. But, a lot of time to go.
No doubt about it. So, good one. That's your What Did You Learn?
That's one of them.
Oh, you got another one. Let's do it.
It's not hockey related.
That's okay.
It's Las Vegas related.
Well, we love Las Vegas,
and maybe we can tease it a little now and dissect it in a little more detail later. But speaking of the Knights, on the way up here, I read that there was a little anger with the radio affiliates up there.
Huh.
The Knights did not choose a certain network radio to be their broadcaster, and that certain network radio then decided to go on a complete censorship and freeze of any and all talk of the team. I think it lasted for a day before they realized that it kind of felt like how maybe a 7-year-old kid would react to that kind of a scenario.
Really?
Oh, like the president.
I don't know where the influence was coming from. There might have been greater influences.
Yeah.
But
that's interesting.
maybe that was a more acceptable way to respond given the current state of affairs surrounding us otherwise.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little more later. I didn't think golf was loud, but it sounds like there's a little party going on the golf course.
Yeah,
there.
Rick, is there something going on?
It is very loud here. I'm trying to find as quiet a place as possible, and this one has air conditioning, so I'm going to stick with this one because the people that I was outside with were saying a lot of bad words I didn't want to hear on the radio. So
they're allowed to say that at golf events?
Yeah. I think they have a little
Mr.
bit too
Gilmore
much
is
to drink.
there.
He is there.
Oh,
yeah,
Mr. Gilmore.
It was a swearing convention. Yes, good choice.
Golf is a different game these days, isn't it?
Well, these people aren't even watching golf. I think they're immersed in their alcohol. So that's what they were doing.
That can do stuff.
Oh, if there's one thing I know the Solheim Cup to be known for, it's the party atmosphere and the drinking.
Oh, wow, you know about that cup. Oh, okay.
That was sarcasm.
Oh, okay, there he goes. All right, so what did I learn? Well, I learned how many hockey movies have been made and in what order are they really, really good. So this is entertainment and hockey. So who wants to guess? What
does this count one that's about to come out in the next few weeks?
No, it doesn't include that one.
Oh, okay. So not.
But I think everyone. I'm going to guess. Everyone's going to guess the number one hockey movie of all time, which is, let's say it. Rick, you go first.
Slapshot.
Rick says Slapshot. What does Eric say? Number one hockey movie of all time.
Slapshot. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, same Slapshot.
Okay. Well, actually, according to this,
the Mighty Ducks.
Stats, no. Miracle. Was
okay.
Rick,
yeah.
would you agree with that? Miracle, or you still say Slapshot?
They're both good, but Slapshot is hockey's equivalent of Caddyshack.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Yeah, and it was really good. But
so you're saying it's number one based on opinion of its subjectively as a film?
Yeah,
or based on ticket sales or something like that?
Based on a close examination of the highest level between certain reporters and others that really have an opinion, sometimes don't, and that's how I rated it.
Oh, so this was you.
No, I'm going to rate Miracle as
we
Miracle.
thought it was coming from some website.
Well, it is in a way, but I can't verify the statistics.
It's the reviewer of held in highest esteem in the hockey movie review community.
Yeah, exactly. So how many hockey movies? I'm not going to go through all these, of course, but how many hockey movies do you think are on the list? By the way, let's see who can guess this.
I could come up with 6 off the top of my head.
6? Wow, really? How about great? I want to hear what your 6 are, but Rick, how many do you have off the top of your head?
I mean, the only one I really think of I know of 4 that I could talk about besides the 2 we just talked about. Obviously there's the Mighty Ducks movie there, and there's a pretty good movie on Gordie Howe and his family that was made up in Canada that I like. There's a documentaries don't count. I can only really think of 4. They do count?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
there's got to be a ton then.
The Fetisov story about the Red Army team is phenomenal too. So I can think of 5.
All right, you got 5. Great. How many?
Well, in terms of mainstream, I mean, you got to remember there's sequels to Slapshot, Part 2, Part 3, things like that. Mystery Alaska, I thought was pretty entertaining.
That made the list.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Sudden Death, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That did not make the list. What the heck?
Luke Robinson.
It's not really a hockey movie, though, just because it was filmed in Pittsburgh.
Probably not. Well, that's true. I think that's why it didn't make the list. These are pure hockey movies. But Mystery Alaska,
Youngblood, I've never seen, but I know people have talked about it.
Youngblood made the good list pretty high up, actually. Of course, you said the Mighty Ducks. There's 3 of them.
Yeah, well, there's 3 of them.
Only the first one counts.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Goon is one of my favorites.
And that
I'm looking forward to Part 2. I think it's going to be great.
When's that coming out?
So very soon, I think in the next few weeks, I believe.
Wow.
Jay Baruchel.
Yeah.
Sean William Scott. There's that movie as a Disney one, the MVP, I think, the little monkey that played hockey.
Oh, was that with Matt LeBlanc?
That was different. That was where the monkey played baseball.
MVP.
Wait,
Matt
LeBlanc,
totally different.
is that any relative to Anthony LeBlanc?
No,
I don't
the
think
guy
so.
from Friends.
Oh.
Joey.
Yeah. And he got his own little spin-off.
That was MVP was most valuable primate.
Yeah.
Where the primate played baseball. This is a totally different subgenre.
Wow.
Let me something like that. Let me look
I've
it up.
got one that hasn't been mentioned yet.
Which
you
one?
guys have mentioned all my other ones. And I have a question mark next to it because I don't know if I don't think it's a hockey movie.
Oh, okay.
But hockey is a prominent focus of the beginning of the film. The Cutting Edge.
Yeah.
Doug Dorsey, USA Hockey
Could add the
future.
skating into it.
Didn't make the list, but
Good
maybe
movie,
because
though.
it wasn't
Underrated.
all hockey.
Oh, The Love Guru with Mike Myers.
Was that a real hockey movie?
You saw that movie?
Yeah, Ron
I
Blake
love that
was in
movie.
it.
That was a great movie.
It was based around hockey because he was helping the guy whose wife was
with that guy.
the Kings goaltender, Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, that's right. That was a pretty good movie, actually.
Yeah, John.
Then we might as well go to Wayne's World when they're playing street hockey out on the street.
Oh, my gosh.
True.
That's one of the great scenes of our time.
They're at Makita's Donuts.
Yeah.
Well, here's the list.
They still might do a Wayne's World 3, by the way. They're still...
Oh, really?
Dana and Mike are friends again for a while.
Really? Oh.
And he's been trying. It's just hard for him to get a script.
I haven't seen him do much recently, Mike.
I hope not.
I hear he's not a very nice guy on the movie sets, but maybe he's tamed down a little.
Myers or Carvey?
Mike Myers.
Well, I'll run through just the titles. I'm not going to say much about them, but these are evidently some good ones. Legends of Hockey, 1996. Sort of a history lesson on the decade of NHL hockey. You mentioned Mystery Alaska. That's one of them. Mighty Ducks, you mentioned. That's the other one. The Sweater. Now, that wasn't an actual movie, but it was 10 minutes long. But it's evidently funny. I have not seen it. It's animated. Catch it if you can. Youngblood, you mentioned, 1986. You have the Rhino Brothers. Ever hear of that?
What about the Tooth Fairy?
Haven't heard of the Tooth Fairy.
With Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh, yeah. He was
I'm
good.
in. I'm sold. You had me at Dwayne.
At Dwayne, yes. Next president of the United States, by the way. Okay.
Fingers
Rhino.
crossed.
Canada's Russia, 72. Really a nice documentary on Alan Eagleson. You remember him trying to coordinate a 8-game series, which he did in 1972.
He also went to jail.
Yes, he did. I was looking at that, and he was convicted for evidently embezzlement and racketeering. What's up? What did he do, by the way?
And that, well, he had. Remember, he was the first NHL Players Association president. He stole money from them. He was the person behind the Bobby Orr trade from Boston to Chicago when he held the Bruins. He didn't show Bobby Orr the Bruins offer that they made to him that kept Bobby Orr. Now, he was injured. He wasn't going to be playing anymore, but gave him a piece of the team ownership. It was not disclosed. The trade went to Chicago. It was very bad, and that whole story of Alan Eagleson, that whole story broke from Steve Conroy for the Lowell Sun in Massachusetts, was the one who did all the investigation and broke that story. So Alan Eagleson is a 4-letter word in the NHL Players Association for what he did.
Yeah, I can imagine.
He gave him a piece of the team?
Yeah, and Orr never got the contract. Gave him a percentage of ownership. Any private company could do that, and Alan Eagleson withheld that information from Robert Gordon Orr.
That's crazy. That is just crazy.
Wow.
Yes, it is. So anyway, there's the documentary's not about that, but it's more about the Summit Series in 72. Les Boys is the next one, Quebec film. I'm not sure if you've seen that, but it did have a couple sequels and a TV show. Maybe you haven't seen that. Of course, Greg mentioned Goon, 2011. That made the list. Net Worth, 1995. Really, probably a good one. I haven't seen it, but Detroit Red Wings' Ted Lindsay trying to attempt to create the National Hockey League's first Players Association. And he worked with Doug Harvey of the Montreal Canadiens to form the association. And but the league and the owners sort of tore the union apart, but that's back in the day. Waking Up Wally. Ever hear that? What do you think that means?
Walter Gretzky, right?
Yes.
I didn't see it, but I remember hearing about that.
What is it?
Waking Up Wally, 2005, the Walter Gretzky story.
Wayne Gretzky, yeah, because he had a stroke, before his death, but memory loss.
Oh, Walter, I thought he was still alive.
Based on Walter. No, he passed on.
But you're right, and he did have a brain aneurysm, basically a stroke, and near fatal in 91. You're right. So that's a pretty good documentary, they say.
Yeah.
A lot of interesting Gretzky facts. Now, 2005,
the
Rocket. Who is the Rocket?
You know what? I'm sorry. I think you're right. Walter is
still alive.
I think his mom.
His mom definitely passed away.
Yeah.
I think Walter's still around.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
But that's sort of cool. He was always following Wayne everywhere. But good story actually.
I remember seeing him. When you watch a game on TV, a lot of times he was there on the glass. In the first row. Yeah, good stuff.
Incredible, and probably a really good thing to look at. The Rocket, and of course, I think someone may know what that's about.
Yes.
What is it about?
Is it about Rocket Richard?
Yeah, Richard.
Richard. First guy, 50 goals in 50 games. First guy to do it.
Yeah. And this is supposed to be a really good documentary. Here's one I never knew they even had. 2008 Pond Hockey.
Never heard of it.
Director Tommy Haynes examines the evolution of hockey and the changing culture surrounding the sport. So it's all about the pond hockey. Is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And, of course, we talked about Slapshot. Now the real question here, Paul Newman, what was his name in the movie as player coach?
Oh, Dunlap, right? Reggie Dunlap?
Yes.
Reggie Dunlap.
Yeah.
Yep, that's pretty impressive, I must say.
Movie.
And, of course, my number one is Miracle. Where did I see that, Craig, the first time?
I don't know.
I saw it with you.
Okay.
San Jose, one of the tournaments.
Oh, okay.
Remember the whole team?
Long ago. Yeah.
Sort of a fun deal there. The whole team went. Mitch.
Great
Good movie yeah,
Great
definitely.
movie.
It's good to show to people, too, that aren't even really hockey fans when they watch it. They go, wow, we didn't realize the meaning behind that. And I know there was another one, I think Steve Guttenberg, he's disappeared, was in the early 80s, a few years after this happened, or pretty quickly after it. But, Kurt Russell did a great job in that.
Yeah. I remember seeing an interview with him where Kurt Russell asked the director, should I play this role as myself and, no accent and just kind of be what I feel it should be, or should I do Herb Brooks?
Wow.
And I can't remember the name of the director, but he told Kurt Russell, yes, if you can be Herb Brooks, do it.
Yeah.
And boy,
he did a great
He delivered.
job.
He was terrific in that movie.
And of course, the pregame speech was phenomenal. That's a motivating speech for everyone.
Yeah.
Now, sadly, if I remember correctly, I believe before the movie was finished, Herb Brooks died in a car accident, I believe in Minnesota in the snow. Very sad if you think about it. I mean, what a tremendous coach he was to pull that off. What's odds of that? I mean, really. I mean, that's virtually impossible what he did. And
I mean,
he did.
NHL teams couldn't beat this team.
I mean, really, right? I don't know how.
There's a speech. He we'll be the best hockey team on the planet tonight, basically. Other words he used,
but you're right. Yeah.
And the idea of putting that team together, the idea of I don't want the best players, I want the right players.
Right. You're right. That's right.
I mean, you might look at it as they had nothing to lose. So
Correct.
let's go outside the box, and obviously it worked.
And Rick, you like that movie too?
Yeah, and the thing, what he did too is not just the right players. He put a team together. He distinctly put New England players and Minnesota players face to face with each other in training camp that had bitter hatred towards each other. If you go back to the 1980 NCAAs, Boston University and University of Minnesota, before they even dropped the puck in the regionals, broke out into about a 45-minute brawl. I mean, there was bitter hatred between those two, and he did that all on purpose. So there was a method to his madness.
And it was a good guy, bad guy situation where he
exactly
really got
he
the team to hate him, so they would then take the focus off their hatred towards each other and unify the team. Phenomenal psychology, if you think about it.
Yep, and you can do it with those
helped.
guys. He struggled a little bit doing that on the professional level, but it worked. He was in the right place at the right time to make that happen.
Yeah, incredible. That's not my number one pick, but all of you three, you have Slapshot as your number one.
Yeah,
it's a tough one after we look at it.
I love it. I might put Goon up there because maybe the generation-wise, Slapshot. Well, obviously the Hansons, everything is great, but something about Goon, I even like D2, the Mighty Ducks, because I grew up watching that every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean,
that was LA focused.
Well, it was based out there.
The first one was they were Minnesota. The second one was rollerblade hockey. And
they went
to Europe, right?
No, to the Goodwill Games, junior Goodwill Games, where they had trouble with the team from Iceland.
That's right.
Yeah. And if you watch the movie kind of slowly, it's just funny how bad they were in terms of there's a play where one of the Ducks is skating, and you could see he literally gives the puck away. They should have done it a little better, the choreography or whatever it's called.
But our favorite announcer had some action
Bob
there.
Miller,
Bob Miller.
both of the
best in the business. He retired, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up listening to Bob Miller. Rick, you've heard of Bob Miller, right?
Oh, I do.
Hey, Rick, your thoughts on Jack Edwards? Are you a big fan of his?
Yeah, he's the atypical Boston sports announcer in the realm of Johnny Most, who did the Boston Celtics. He is a we'll call the word a homer. He's very dramatic about supporting his own team, and the world is against the home team, and they love him for that. I mean, he has a sportscasting background. I mean, Jack Edwards does a really good job. Yeah. He really does.
Oh,
he's well known, and he's followed in the tradition of the typical Boston Bruins play-by-play announcer.
Yeah. How about the New York guy? Can't remember his name, but he got in trouble for biting some girl.
Oh, Marv Albert. Yeah.
He was
more basketball.
He did hockey too, though.
Oh, he did.
He did. Because he was part of MSG, right? I think he was part of.
I don't know what he's doing now. I think he's a dentist now. I'm not sure. When the dentist?
A dentist.
I don't know.
No, I'm kidding. No, he still announces. I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, him and Mike Tyson started a business.
He did
with Mike Tyson.
Oh. Yeah, he. I remember his favorite thing when they scored in basketball. He'd go, yes. That was really good.
He's a good announcer. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
he is.
Obviously made a mistake.
But who is? Maybe we should do that next week or in the upcoming. Who's the best hockey announcer of all time? And I think we'll have some good opinions.
In our lifetime, or in a lifetime that we didn't get to listen to, because all the famous people of all time were all in before the games were on TV, like Foster Hewitt and people like that, where people would be huddled around the radio and listening to games. So that's a tough one.
Point.
We could do that, but I do want to make the announcement that next Saturday, live on our set, will be Doc Reggie Monroe from Chandler Community College is going to go over the physiology and the stress of being a goaltender. She's going to be live on and talk about all the muscles and the issues, et cetera, that go into today's modern goaltender as compared to the old guys. So that'll be an interesting conversation. She's done a lot of extensive work on that.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay, that should be a lot of fun, no doubt about it.
Yes.
And Rick, are you leaving us at 2? We're going to hit a break now.
I think the plan is I am going to find my wife out here on the golf course. I will be live next week and looking forward to it and get caught up. And that's the plan right now. I got to go out here and root for the U.S. They're
all right,
calling
but
me.
Avoid the alcohol, though.
I have. Now that I'm off the clock,
no drinking.
Anything can happen. All right, guys.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Hey, Rick, thank you so much for calling, and we'll see you next week.
No problem. See you next week live.
All right.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Very cool.
Thanks, Rick.
That was interesting. So then at 1 o'clock, we could do almost anything.
Well, didn't you want to go over the Ducks and
yeah, we'll go over
Carolina.
the Anaheim Ducks and Calgary review.
And if it's all right, I think we'll have time for this one to do a thing. Big trades that almost happened, but didn't happen. And we're broadcasting today from Mod Pizza off 75th Avenue in Bell, across the street from Arrowhead Town Center. This is Real Hockey Talk, NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060. We'll be right back.
NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
And welcome back again. You're listening to Real Hockey Talk live from Mod Pizza, located at 7480 West Bell Road, 75th Avenue and Bell Road. Great place there, Mod Pizza. Great pizza, great salad. You pick, you choose, you customize. That's what they do here. Great service.
It's about freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom of choice.
Yeah, it is freedom of choice. This is a place to be, no doubt about it. And stopping by, he's always such a loyal guy. Gene Kernan, Serraro Hotspot. Of course, we met first, I think, at Phoenix Metro Chamber. And Gino. Where did I get Gino? I don't know.
We're getting nicknames already.
Yeah.
I like this.
I think we need. Let's see. We need his mic on. Where did the Greg guy?
Oh,
where is Greg? We have to. All right. Well, I will. Okay, we're going to put a different headset on him so he can listen and hear and speak to the audience. And here he goes. Gene.
See, I couldn't.
Kernan.
I couldn't talk out of that side of my mouth.
No, that's right. So we, I think the thing was turned down. So anyway, it's always fun seeing you. You show up a lot at our broadcast. That's a loyal guy. Phoenix Metro Chamber with Jason Bressler. I met you and saw you actually there at the last networking, which is really cool, at the Hilton
Yes.
Wednesday night.
That was a great event, wasn't it?
Oh, I loved it. They had a huge crowd, and they Facebooked it, too, which was sort of fun. So we just want to talk to you for a minute or two, give you a nice shout-out, and loyalty does pay off, doesn't it? So brief description, Saguaro Hotspot,
Okay,
in a paragraph or so.
Saguaro Hotspot is Wi-Fi that's designed for business.
Oh.
You know, you go into a place, everybody these days, you got Wi-Fi?
Like a hotspot.
Right.
I have a little one here.
What's your password?
Oh, you want me to tell it on there?
No. Everybody asks that question.
It's Miracle.
Yeah.
The two questions. Hi, have you got Wi-Fi? What's your password?
That's true, actually, right?
I just did it not an hour ago here at Mod Pizza.
In fact, some places actually have, in order to not have their staff be all tied up with answering questions and helping people write it down,
they'll
they
put
it
it on
the wall.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is the point of encryption? What is the point of security if you give everybody the password?
You know, you're right, actually. Good
Okay.
point.
So what Saguaro Hotspot is Saguaro Hotspot is what's known as social Wi-Fi.
Oh.
First of all, instead of just a little box that says, please enter the password that we give literally everyone.
Right.
You know?
Make it not very secure.
Exactly. It might as well be public Wi-Fi. Saguaro Hotspot takes them to a page where the login is through Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Instagram, which are all secure pages.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So when the login happens, it's happening on those social media pages, and no sensitive information is crossing any unprotected space.
Wow, so you set this up for people like this thing, like a hotspot, this
Right.
AT&T deal.
Yeah, except that I can set it up either mobile. I told you I could do you a mobile demo.
That's right.
for you
That's
today.
what you were mentioning.
Usually I set it up straight from their internet.
Oh, wow.
Straight out of their modem with an Ethernet cable into a specially programmed router that broadcasts the Wi-Fi signal. For example,
And it's for businesses like this, mainly.
yes. For today, for example,
Got
today
ya.
you're at Mod Pizza. It would be Mod Pizza Social Wi-Fi or whatever they want to call it.
But it'd be secure. People would feel safer.
Oh yeah, it's way more secure than the password we give to literally everyone.
Wow, I like that. I really didn't quite know that, but I like it, Eric.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really a cool deal.
You don't want identity theft. You don't want any of that. You don't want to dabble. You don't want to leave anything exposed.
Well, there are no every cybersecurity expert will tell you, don't use public Wi-Fi. You're going to get your ID stolen.
Right, I've heard that.
So occasionally I'll tell people, this is better than the Wi-Fi. Please enter the password that we give to literally everyone to make it easier to see your identification.
Right.
It's as public as it can be.
Yeah,
if
it
it's
might as
given
well
to
be public.
literally everybody.
But your way is
There's
highly...
no point in encryption if you give everybody the key.
Yeah.
So everyone who does this is at high risk.
Yeah.
Unless they secure it.
Some other
I
way.
like it. So Gene, give out your contact information. I think people would love to do this, actually.
Okay. SaguaroHotspot.com is the website.
Right.
SAGUARO, like Saguaro cactus.
Gotcha.
Okay, SaguaroHotspot.com. My email is info, I-N-F-O, at local, L-O-C-A-L, motivemarketing.com.
Excellent. And your phone, you want to give out your number? Or
Do I want to give out my number?
Maybe not. Oh.
602.
You women out there.
618. 6626.
And that's
Wow.
602.
That's 602 618 6626.
He is looking for a date, isn't he? The way he said that.
This is not so subtle.
I can't take me anywhere.
I like it, though. Hey, Gene, thanks for stopping by again. It's always so nice.
Dave, thank you, man. This was great of you.
And providing
very nice.
a necessary service.
I think everyone.
Public Wi-Fi security is.
They should all call and arrange
things-
it with Gene how it works and all that stuff. And I think people will like it. Gene, again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Gene.
And back at you, Dave.
All right,
Eric.
appreciate it.
Pleasure.
All righty.
And Gene also wins the award for best birds of prey on a shirt here at Mod Pizza.
Oh yeah, you got the sort of cool shirt.
Are those
there.
eagles? Two eagles on the front of your shirt.
The Eagles.
Outstanding.
The great group, the Eagles.
If our
Remember
Twitter was
them?
up,
The Eagles.
we could could show photos of this.
Well, we do
Thank
have
you, Gene.
our hockey Twitter, real_hockey talk, so you could head over there, give us a like, and we'll talk about all the great places. And
We should get let's put a picture of Gene's shirt at least on the Twitter. And if he wants to allow us to put his face, I don't know how secure publicly he wants that.
The shirt is sort of cool.
The shirt at the very least.
The shirt.
Yeah. Cool. So you ordered. He did. He ordered.
Greg ordered.
Oh, yeah. And then we'll get you guys set up. I know Dave wants his salad. And
salad.
I think Eric
really
said he
good
might
here.
be doing some salad, too. So
very good.
That's pretty cool. And,
actually, everything's good.
We'll go, but I was going to say, wanted to talk about previews for Anaheim, Carolina. We'll do a little, big trades that almost happened in the NHL, looking back at history that didn't happen. And some are moves that, sure, maybe you could say they're not 100% reference per se, where a GM or someone's actually come out and said it. On the other hand, though, it's pretty close to that. So, not just rumors we'll throw out, but things that really almost happened. Eric wants to talk a little. There's some fight coming up. Who's these guys? McGregor and Mayweather.
Like
so we'll talk about that a little later on too. And so it's going to be a
lot of
good
cool
stuff. Yeah.
So you want to go to Anaheim?
Well, I do. I love Disneyland.
Yeah, it is fun out there. We did talk and analyze the Coyotes about 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Go to breakradioshow.com under archives. Look under Real Hockey Talk. Is it Breakthrough Sports or Real Hockey Talk? One of the two. And
where?
On breakradioshow.com.
Yeah, just go there.
Yeah, and you'll see
under Real Hockey Talk.
You can hear our analysis of the Coyotes.
Yeah.
But we're going to go to Anaheim and look at them. And, of course, guys, Anaheim probably has the least amount of questions when you look at a team on their potential. They have their nucleus pretty much back, the same people. Starting with Ryan Getzlaf, nearly a point per player last season, 73 points. Pretty darn good in 74 games. Stanley Cup Finals, 19 points in 17 games. He was on fire, 32 years old. And
only 32.
Yeah, and I think
been around a while.
He played the most minutes in the last 3 years this year. So, but then you look at Corey Perry, and boy, he scored 19 goals after 5 straight seasons of at least 33. So, Greg, what's up with that? Do you think he's reached his peak? Or do you think it was just a down year?
You know what? His style of play, it could catch up. However, I put it more on a down year. I think he'll bounce back and at the very least, get his 25 goals. I think it was last year he got off to a bad start, or I might be thinking of 2 years ago, and then he caught fire. But I think he's still someone. His contract, it's a little long. There could be some worry there eventually, but I think they'll be fine right now with him.
Well, you still got Ryan Kessler coming back.
Well, yeah. Now that's a guy who really surprised me last year. He had a really good season, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
But now the thing is that his style, though, I was surprised that he was still able to play the way he did last year.
Oh, yeah.
And at some point, sometimes guys like that, you do start that kind of downward spiral, and sometimes it could be pretty quick. And once you start it might not be gradually slow. So, but he's the key. If he could keep it up and be, that second line type center the way he's been for them, it just causes so much matchup issue for other teams.
Yeah, definitely a phenomenal year. Raquel, he had quite a year, really breakout year, 33 goals, 18.6 shooting percentage last season. So he, if he continues like that, that's going to be a strong second line with Kessler.
Yeah, with
is he with Kessler? No, he's not with Kessler actually.
Well, the thing is, they do have that scoring depth that's coming, and with Nick Ritchie, guy like that,
he came on pretty nice.
Yeah, he
Saw
did.
Him in the 2 years ago at San Diego Gulls, a high prospect, and he played well.
Oh yeah, he's
in the playoffs.
He was a high draft pick and. Sort of part of the Bobby Ryan trade because he was that first round selection that they got. I think it was like 10th overall or something.
Not a bad deal, then.
And they selected him with that. And, so not a bad deal at all. I think it's that situation where the Ducks on their back end have, a ton of depth. They lose, Stoner in the expansion draft, and, they had to give up a good young guy, Shea Theodore, to make that happen. On the other hand, you got to keep a guy like Vatanen back there. And so there's a lot to like with this team. In goal, they get Ryan Miller, so he's there. He's will be more of in that backup role. And Gibson's a fine young goaltender, but it's nice to have that other veteran there, and shouldn't be an issue in goal. Yeah, they should be fine like that. So still a really good team.
What about Jacob Silverberg?
Silverberg, yeah, he's also a really good player, good two-way guy.
Here's a stat that I was really amazed. Only Getzlaf, Nikita Kucherov, and Sidney Crosby have higher points per game average than Silverberg. That's great. That doesn't even make sense. But
in what?
Minimum 40 games over the past 3 seasons. Postseasons. I'm sorry, postseasons.
Oh, in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to say there's no way.
Yeah, no.
You're looking at.
I failed to mention postseasons, but that's impressive though. So again, that's a nice asset to have.
And he, of course, was also in that Bobby Ryan trade.
So they did well on that trade.
Yeah, they did.
Patrick Eaves signing again. Sort of a pretty good guy on the power play. That's why they had problems with Nashville, by the way. Eaves was out, and he just stands in front of the net, and their power play went way down when he was out.
Well, and he had a big year, with Dallas before his trade, and then he did very well, fitting in there with, Getzlaf. So if he could repeat what he did last season, I mean, he's a guy that had scored 20 before, but hadn't really been known as a big-time offensive guy, but he had a nice offensive year last year.
Yeah.
I think he's 32, 33 right now.
Yeah, I think he's 33, yep.
So it'll be interesting to see. But, if he keeps that magic up, with a guy like Getzlaf, that will be nice for them.
Now, you look at their defensive core. They're solid. I mean, Cam Fowler just signed he had an NHL career high 11 goals last season. He's only 25.
Yeah.
Sammy Vatanen and Lindholm. Very strong, second and third best offensive defenseman. Josh Manson, of course, the son of
Dave,
who was really a tough guy in the day.
Yeah.
Dave Manson.
The other Dave, yeah, and Josh is also really tough.
I mean, and then Brandon Montour came on, impressive postseason.
Played pretty well, yeah.
Of course, like you said, they get rid of Shea, unfortunately lose Shea Theodore by the Knights,
but at this point for them, a contender like this, you didn't want to lose, obviously, a guy like Vatanen, who's a legit already top 4 defenseman on the team for nothing there in the expansion draft. And so, a little depth, but goes away, but it's still a very good core back there. So it's.
But I like their goalies. I mean, Gibson, only 24, .924 save percentage, .928 at even strength, 6 shutouts, ranked 6th amongst goalies. This guy's only going to get better, I predict, and I think they're in there. I think Anaheim. The last 5 years they been the leader in the Pacific Division the last 5 seasons, I believe. And
I mean,
there's no reason they can't again.
Well, they've had very good regular seasons, and but they obviously need to take that next step come playoff time. They did have some success, get a Western Conference final and stuff like that a couple times.
Right.
That's the last few years, but it's been a while, obviously, since their first Cup win. I think in 06 or 07. And so when you look at that, their core, even though there's obviously the defensive core is young, and you do have some really good young forwards like Silverberg and Raquel, and as we said, Nick Ritchie as he gets better.
Yeah, no doubt.
But you're at that point where with Getzlaf, Kessler, and Perry, I mean, how much time do they have left at this level? And we saw Perry, obviously. Is this a downward spiral or just a tough year? Who knows? Last year, but
tough to say. Yeah,
that's key because it's so close. There's very thin margin for error in the Western Conference and Pacific Division, really.
And when you got Edmonton coming on strong, some teams, Dallas, in the Western Conference, you better do it now for Anaheim.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. And
yeah.
Now let's look at some of these youngsters. Brandon Montour, defenseman, number 55th pick in the 14 NHL draft.
Yeah.
27 games in Anaheim, 2-4-6, and AHL had a pretty good amount of good offensive scoring. 36 games played, 13 goals, 19 assists, 32 points in 36 games. Now, he is still going to be a rookie, which is sort of cool for him, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he appeared in 3 fewer. He would be eligible for. Oh no, I'm sorry. If I got it wrong.
Yeah, I think you got it wrong.
If he was 3 games over the limit, so he will not be a rookie. So sorry to.
How could you do
Brandon Montour?
Just when he got it out of his mind and he forgot about it.
Yeah,
He
that's
had to
right.
Open up that scab, Dave.
He's been so excited to talk
I know,
about
he would have
Montour.
been. Now, remember the guy from Pittsburgh, the goalie, Matt Murray?
Yeah.
He was a rookie again. That was insane how he did that. 2 Stanley Cups, that's like crazy. I don't know. But anyway.
I turned the wrong microphone lower. I forgot we had switched earlier.
Oh, that's right.
So that's why like, why is he
You
coughing
did turn
in there?
your head and you coughed. I was wondering about that.
Yeah, who are you talking about right before
Oh,
that?
now this is Brandon Montour.
Oh,
now we're
yeah.
going to Jacob Larson, defenseman, 27th pick in the 15th draft. He played 4 games for Anaheim, but 6'2", 191. They think he'll make it next season. 20 years old, so they got some prospects that are evidently pretty good. Sam Steele, center, 30th pick in the 16 NHL draft not long ago, but he's sort of small, 5'11", 178, but they think he, a couple years away, maybe a year away for that guy, but they think he'll be a top 6 role. So, you're talking about some of the aging guys.
Yeah, and so that's good. I mean, it helps that you have some reinforcements, but this level, though, guys like Etzlaff and
he's been great all the time.
I mean, these are dynamite guys, and, so you got to win again with that. Obviously, Perry and Getzlaff were part of the winning team when they won that first time around.
No doubt,
10 years ago, but it's time again, and I don't think it's going to happen, but, it's they got to do it.
good again, though.
They'll be good,
but we'll see. You're right.
It's still time to go before we make our predictions.
Did age catch up to them, the 2 stars? Who knows? But Nick Curdelli's, ever hear of him? He's a 36th pick in the 2012 draft. 6'2", good size. Grew up in Irvine. Wow. Where else do you want to play, right?
Mm-hmm.
In between the goals and the Anaheim.
Yeah.
And they think he can make it this season, actually. He's a rugged player. He played for, actually, teammate Patrick Eves' father at University of Wisconsin, so he may know some of the people.
Okay.
Sort of interesting.
Yeah.
So he has a shot this year, rugged player. Max Jones, left wing.
Yeah.
24th pick in the 2016 draft. Had a pretty good year at London OHL, 33 games, 17, 19, and 36. Didn't do, did okay in the AHL, only 9 games, but he's only 19. And what's interesting about Jones is he was a supporting role in London's 2016 Memorial Cup Championship. And who led that team? This is interesting. You can recognize these players.
Was it Strome?
It was not Strome, but the Memorial, he was only a supporting player. However, when you hear these names, you're going to say, no wonder he's a supporting player. Mitchell Marner, ever hear?
Oh, yes.
Toronto.
Yes.
Matthew Tkachuk, are you kidding me? Calgary Flames, who had a incredible rookie season. Yeah. And, of course, our own Christian Dvorak, Arizona guy.
Okay.
So they had a great team, and he played alongside. So he's predicted, maybe a year or two.
Right, yeah.
So I guess, they've held on to their top 4 defense. Shea Theodore leaving for Vegas.
There's a lot to like still with the team.
I think
obviously,
so. Yeah.
I mean, you get to that point. We'll talk about it more obviously after training camp, and we'll do predictions, stuff like that. But
yeah, there's no doubt. But like I said, one of the reasons Anaheim lost to Nashville was the power play faltered. 2 for 18. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just think about that. And that was, like I said, Eves was injured and missed the series and missed that net, front presence and on the man advantage. So it's a tough one Cam Fowler, 8-year contract. We talked about $52 million. Not bad for the young guy, right?
No, not at all.
No, pretty good. And ice time 24.50. So the real question is the three questions you have for Anaheim. I'll start it off with: can forward Corey Perry return to form as an elite NHL scorer? That's a question mark.
That's one of the keys, because obviously if he does, it's great, because you have him, Raquel, and all these guys, put the puck in the net. But if not, it could make matchups a little easier for some other teams.
Yeah.
And plus, sometimes you never know with other players that might have had good years last year. Patrick Eaves, will he be at that level he was when they got him in the trade from Dallas, or will he kind of go back to maybe the old player he used to be, which is fine, but not obviously a big-time offensive guy, but he showed offensive skill last year, obviously. So those are, I think, two of the question marks. I'll put those two guys in there. And, a third mark, or do you want to do the third question?
I'll go with my second one is goalie John Gibson. Can he stay healthy? Now, he had a career-high 52 games in 49 starts. 49 were starts last season. .924 save percentage. Now, it put him in pretty amazing company. Among goalies who played more than 2,500 minutes last season, only Vezina Trophy winner Sergei Bobrovsky, .931 percentage. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Columbus. And finalist Braden Holtby, .925, had higher save percentage. He's an elite. I mean, this guy, no matter sort of what happens to Anaheim, they got an elite goalie here.
Well, no, he's fantastic.
I mean, it's incredible.
He's had I sound like Peter Brady today.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, the at least I don't sound like Fran, the woman from New York.
Oh, who's Fran?
Remember how sometimes when my voice gets lost?
Oh yeah, he sounds like. Who was that guy? Yeah.
No, just a random person.
Oh yeah, random.
All right. Yeah. No, we have. What were we talking about again?
The third
Ducks?
one.
Oh,
yeah. I'll throw it out. Gibson.
Gibson.
The third question, in my
opinion.
Keep
the consistency up. If Gibson could do that.
Well, and can Getzlaf get them over the Stanley Cup playoff hump? I mean, can he continue his great pace?
Yeah.
Third in the NHL in assists last season behind Connor McDavid and Nicholas Backstrom. Average 21.04 ice time. We talked about most in the past 3 seasons. If this all comes about, they're going to be a team to reckon with.
No, absolutely.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Very exciting, I think. And, we got a lot more through August. Wow, how are we going to get all through these teams through August?
Well, we'll do more
in September.
For the episodes,
Same way you eat an elephant.
One bite at a time. You're right. As the announcer from New York, what's his name again? I already
Marv
forgot.
Albert.
How do you forget Marv Albert?
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, incredible. So Anaheim, look forward to some of the good stuff that's going on for them, and not an easy division at all.
Oh yeah,
not at all.
Yeah,
I think we'll maybe hit the Kings next week, right? Preview them a little bit.
Well, I think we should go in order. Obviously, we won't do Boston today. We'll wait for Rick.
Yeah, next week.
But probably like Buffalo and teams like that if we have some time.
Yeah, that's right. We could hit some of them, no doubt.
Gibson, honorable mention on the top 25 players under the age of 25.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. That is sort of cool. And, of course, we are at Mod Pizza, located at 7480 West Bell Road in Glendale, 75th Avenue and Bell Road. Come on down. Mod Pizza. Great place, great service, great food. And we'll be here till 3, and they are open right till 10, maybe 11. And we'll be right back after this break.
Hey, this is Andy Dorff. Check out my show, Dorff on Sports, from 9 to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, right here in the Valley of the Sun on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060.
And welcome back again. You're listening to Real Hockey Talk live from Mod Pizza, located at 7480 West Bell Road in Glendale. That's 75th Avenue and Bell Road. Mod Pizza. I am eating one of their great salads. I should say I'm Dave alongside Greg and Eric Story. What's the story?
What's the story?
And look at the salad. It's like huge.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, and you got a salad too, right?
I did.
Not quite as big, but yeah.
It's really tasty. I mean, really,
hey, never talk about the size of a man's salad, Greg. Come on.
Well, no, the fact that Dave's salad is bigger means he's compensating.
No.
Aha. In that case, please go on.
Look at these long fellows. My shoes are
Wait, what?
like 14 feet.
Oh,
okay.
gosh.
So, but my pizza, really good stuff here. Pretty nice crowd here, actually. They draw really well.
Yeah.
It really is very good. Really, the pizza home, customize. You customize your food, and it's really quick too. You notice that? They can make it real quick.
Oh yeah, well that's the point. Yeah, the oven, and it's done in 2-3 minutes, so it's great stuff.
It looks like a buffet with all the different veggie options and meat options and cheese options and dressing options.
Yeah.
And I was in and out of that process in just a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I'm the kind of person that enjoys a lot of variety.
Yeah.
And their salad, and I literally got almost everything.
Lucky you clarified in your salad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just in general. In general, I like variety, but that general opinion also blends into my salad desires.
Gotcha. Well, it makes sense. Actually.
A little bit of everything.
I like it. So, all right, so almost trades.
Yeah, well, you know what? We were going to keep going with previews, but we'll wait next week and further weeks.
Well, we could do Calgary.
Maybe we'll keep it in order, except Chicago and Boston. We'll wait on that.
Yeah.
So we'll wait on that. But, yeah, something I've always found, fascinating is, obviously GMs, they talk all the time. There's always names thrown out there, things like that. But sometimes it gets to the point where maybe something is agreed upon, and then maybe an owner steps in. Something at the last minute happens. So,
and it all gets unraveled.
Yeah, exactly. And in a lot of cases here, it's kind of good that this happened for some of these teams. But, you kind of look at it through history. There's a lot. So we'll just do a few today. Not everything I say here is 100% confirmed, but it's pretty close. It's not just, those two teams talked about those two guys. And then, But I'll start it off because we were just...
go
ahead.
Did you double source all of these
Yeah.
allegations you're about to throw out here?
Yeah, I even called Mike Comrie, who's involved in one of these, with the guy you were just talking about with the Anaheim Ducks, Corey Perry.
Yeah.
Years ago when Perry was still a prospect, I forget what year it was in, but the Oilers and Ducks basically had a deal done where Corey Perry for Mike Comrie. And the deal was going to happen until Kevin Lowe went to Comrie and asked him to pay some of his own way with the trade, which is very odd. You don't hear happening. But because of that, the deal fell through. So think of how that would have been if Corey Perry ended up going to Edmonton there in the early 2000s. And Mike Comrie obviously has been out of the league a while. He got off to a great start in his career, but then things kind of fell. But he did marry Hillary Duff for a while. I think they're divorced now.
For a while?
Yeah. How did that go?
Well, a divorce now. But most end in divorce, right? Yeah.
Better to have loved a Duff and lost than never to have loved at all. Is what I say.
Oh, yeah. Then there was one.
Sorry, I'm being quite insensitive about a couple's.
Oh no, not at all. This
failed
is
marriage. I apologize.
Well, no, 95% of them are right. No, they and then you kind of look at a guy that was one of Dave's favorite players. He's no longer in the NHL.
Dave Taylor.
No, but this player was sort of a member of the Coyotes last season. Obviously, he didn't play for the team, but his contract was, I think it was in 07 or 08. And this was when Scott Gomez was still a good player with New Jersey. The Red Wings and Devils were very close to a trade Scott Gomez for Pavel Datsyuk. Very close.
Wow.
And it didn't happen. Red Wings, basically Gomez and Datsyuk were both unrestricted to be after the season. But the Red Wings thought they'd have an easier time signing Scott Gomez. And so it looked like that might happen, but then they did end up re-signing Datsyuk, luckily. And then the rest is history with Gomez. Obviously, that's the offseason. He went to the Rangers, became a bust. And think of how this butterfly effect works, because then he was traded for Ryan McDonough, who's now Rangers, top defenseman and one of the better defensemen in the league. So it's interesting because that would not have happened, although Datsuk on New Jersey would have been exciting, but we wouldn't have seen the Red Wings win, two more, another cup or two later on. So it just, one of those things that becomes pretty interesting when you look at all that.
Oh, yeah.
You could look at other things, Wayne Gretzky when he was first traded to L.A. That was between L.A. and two other teams in there. I think Detroit, maybe Toronto. But he ended up deciding on the Kings there. But that would have been interesting to kind of see, because that obviously shook up the hockey world as we know it. The people in Canada were asking the Canadian political figures to veto the trade. They were so disappointed, and obviously. But what he did, the Coyotes, all these other Sunbelt teams wouldn't be here probably if Gretzky didn't go to Los Angeles. So what he did there for hockey over here is obviously amazing. But, yeah, so it's interesting, though, some of the other teams that were in on that.
I don't want to derail this anymore at all. But for those of us who are not as familiar with the Gretzky trade, the ins and the outs and the details.
Yeah.
I remember, when it happened, I was a young hockey fan, but
yeah.
I looking back on it, I couldn't imagine how that could happen.
Yeah,
and obviously it had to be mutually agreed upon by all parties.
Mm-hmm.
There was the 30 for 30 documentary on it, which I watched many years ago, and it is just like every 30 for 30 episode or movie, whatever you want to call it. It was really good.
Yeah.
But what is for the layperson who's not familiar and who does realize that the entire Southwest, Dallas, Arizona, maybe Anaheim, maybe even San Jose, none of those teams exist without this Gretzky trade.
Yeah.
How did that happen? He was at his peak.
Mm-hmm.
The team was at its peak. How did that go down? What was the nugget of the seed that made that trade happen?
Well, right, Bruce McDowell.
Well, money.
Yeah.
And McDowell, he'd come on as a King owner. Now, the late, Dr. Jerry Buss, had owned the Kings, obviously with the Lakers as well. I do believe prior to that, they had asked Edmonton, what will it take to get Wayne over here? Because Dr. Buss obviously was Showtime. He was a big money guy. And then McDowell was a big Kings fan before coming in as the owner. And so, it's funny because he went around and mentioned it to people like fans. You're not getting Gretzky. And, no, so basically Edmonton, it was money. He was in the last year of his contract. He was traded, obviously, in the summer, but it would have been his last year.
So he was set to be a free agent.
The following year.
Or it was up in the air with his.
And I think he wouldn't have wanted to leave, but on the other hand, Edmonton, Pocklington, the owner, he, it wasn't made of money per se, and so it was going to be very difficult for him. So basically, in a way, he was sold off to the Kings because there was $15 million involved in the trade.
No salary cap back then.
Right. And the thing is, at the time, too, the players, didn't make anywhere near where they are today. I think, Gretzky might have made like $1 million, when he signed his deal. It's very small. But you look at that, and basically, they obviously, with Edmonton, he didn't, Pocklington didn't want to move him, but he knew it was that point where he had to because of money. And so you get to that situation. Edmonton had just won their 4th cup. And so, obviously, it's a shocker because, he's 27 years old, still has plenty of game left in him. The Oilers really wanted Luke Robitaille in that trade coming back. But, he was off limits, so Jimmy Carson went. Now, the thing is, Jimmy Carson was a really good young player. His first couple of years, he was already a 50-plus goal scorer and everything. But there
50.
He was amazing. There was one issue, though. He didn't really love hockey anymore. He was already planning his post-career business type career. I think they said, his dad sort of pushed it on him a bit. And he was a bit shy and some stuff. So when he ended up going to Edmonton, there were some problems there. Obviously, his production fell. And there was even a point before they traded him, where I don't think he showed up to training camp or the start of the season. And, and Mark Messier tried to help him out from what I remember, some stories and stuff. But it was that situation, he just socially maybe wasn't into it. He was comfortable where he was in L.A., and so he's tough. But it didn't work out, and obviously some of the other assets, one of the first-round picks turned out to be Martin Jelena. He had a great career.
Yeah.
Not really with Edmonton. He didn't stay there that long. But, yeah, you look at that and really go, obviously no one was Wayne Gretzky, but if Jimmy Carson kind of mentally was a little stronger with everything, it could have been interesting because here's a guy that was already a 50-goal scorer, very young kid still. But he was out of the league pretty quick because of that. What ended up happening, though, is Carson got traded to Detroit for a package including Joe Murphy and Peter Klima. And these guys were a big part of the Oilers' 5th championship
with Mark
in
Messier.
1990. Yeah, and then Messier ended up going right after that. So it's crazy how, everything works out there. But, Gretzky was babysitting Robin Thicke at the time of the trade, which is because him and the late Alan Thicke, great friends. And so that now, as we know with Robin, who, congratulations, he's having a baby, I heard. It's funny how these things tie together.
He's having a baby.
Yeah, not the girlfriend.
That's
he actually
weird. Never heard of that.
Him and his girlfriend.
Now, could part of a small part, the rumor was at the time that his wife, Wayne Gretzky's wife, did not want to move to Edmonton. There was a rumor.
Even though she's an actress and everything, I think that was just a rumor. I think she would have been okay with it. Obviously, L.A. would have been the place to be for her. And I think there's little things that Bruce McNall and maybe people with the league with Gretzky, once it looked like he might be moved,
right,
sort of pointed, you go to L.A., look what it will do to the game. And
it did.
Figured, yeah.
Look at L.A. itself. Man, they're selling out
Oh, yeah. As soon as it happened, nonstop calls,
as soon as it happened, I lost my scalper. I used to go all the games pre Gretzky.
Yeah.
And I
they
had the
just
scalper.
let you in.
Well, 6,500 people would show up, and
you mean your black market ticket reseller?
Yeah. Well, he was a teacher. I go, what do you do for a living? He go, I'm a elementary school teacher.
Yeah.
So I used to get really good seats for pretty interesting prices, and when Gretzky came, that was it.
Of course,
gone. I mean, it was not easy at all, and he certainly did incredibly well for the Kings. There's no question about it.
Yeah,
Going
absolutely.
to the finals in, 70, I forget when. No, 90.
93, yeah.
93 against Montreal.
Yeah.
So really interesting.
I did meet Wayne Gretzky once.
Oh, you did?
And his wife.
Oh, really?
When I was at a
party at the Playboy Mansion.
No, I've been there several times, but never crossed the paths with the great one.
But probably Magic Johnson.
On that occasion, yes. I was actually about 10, 15 years ago working at a pizza establishment, not as good as Mod Pizza, but still good. I was doing takeout orders, and I heard this was right when a year or two after I think Gretzky was, before he was a coach, but when he was in the ownership group of the Coyotes.
Oh, yeah.
So he was eating, he and his wife, at the bar, and of course I made an excuse to walk over and pick up some plates or something from the area and give him a little nod. And
really?
And then the next night, no, a couple hours later, as we were closing up, I get a phone call, and it's a woman, and she says, we were in there a little earlier tonight, and we lost a ring.
What? Oh, okay. What, it wasn't the story about him leaving his black credit card, the one that's like unlimited limit?
I don't know. No.
Oh, okay.
But she did say we left a ring in the bathroom, and I said, you know what? Nothing's been turned in, but I'll certainly let you know if we come across something. And, and she's very subtly, she says, "Oh well, you know what? It would be under Gretzky."
And as if we had
as if we had a file system under the name, and I absolutely did. I said, "Oh," and I tried to play it cool, and I said, "You know what? Hold on, I'll go check right now." Walked over to the bathroom, did not see a ring in there, but I never figured out which ring it was. if it was a jewelry ring or a hockey ring.
So you gave him all of the rings that you found, then went over his house.
Yes, they invited me over to their house. Paulina was a youngster at the time.
So you found the ring?
No, I did not find the ring. I'm spinning yarns here.
Oh.
But I just thought it was funny that she, when she didn't take no for an answer the first time when I told her.
Oh, wow.
If we find something, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
She let me know subtly that it would be under Gretzky. The lost ring would be filed under the name that I recognized. And therefore, it worked because it lit a fire, and I went and I looked for it.
But you couldn't find it.
I didn't find it. I wish I could have found it because that would have been fun.
You could have brought it personally to their house.
Yes, I could have because they were Paradise Valley. This was in Old Town Scottsdale, not far.
Rewarded you, and it would have been great.
You would have been part of the family by now.
Yeah.
I would have had a better story.
Paulina would be.
I would be the #1 golfer in the PGA Tour.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I gather from it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Speaking of trades that almost were, this was a turn in my life.
That almost turned.
I could have been the best golfer.
Then you made a comeback.
Real
hockey talk. He made a comeback.
Oh, some may say that it turned out better for me than it could have.
There's no doubt. Wow, so those are any other trades that almost happened?
Well, there's tons. But
I have one.
Maybe one more, and then we'll get to that one.
Okay.
Obviously, the team is in a bit of a rebuild, retool mode, but for many years we saw how great the Detroit Red Wings were. Now, if you remember, in '94, when San Jose shocked them in the playoffs in the first round, eliminating them, and these were the great Red Wings. They were, finally that really good team, taking the league by storm. They didn't think that their captain, Steve Yzerman, maybe was the right leader. And obviously we know the story with Yzerman, one of the great leaders in all of sport. Very close to a trade with Ottawa for young center Alexei Yashin. And that was agreed upon. Detroit ownership, I believe, at the last second, no, it's not happening. And look at the history behind it now. Detroit would go on to win multiple cups, Yzerman being one of the great leaders, and Yashin sort of a head case. And, his career sort of went downhill. But very crazy when you see that, some of these star players, and some of the moves that almost had. And with Gretzky in upcoming shows, we could talk even about more, like with Toronto, he almost signed there as a free agent.
Yeah.
When he signed with the Rangers, but I think they called him in the middle of the night or something. And a lot of stuff with that. We'll talk about some of that. But you said you had one you wanted to.
Well, you never heard something like this before. I don't even think you've ever heard of this.
That
before.
two teams locating cities.
Oh, he did hear about it.
Yeah, I was with Edmonton and Toronto.
I thought I had the unique territory.
No.
Well, believe it or not, Harold Ballard, Toronto owner, having financial problems. Of course, Toronto, the richest team in hockey, most successful in terms of profitability. So in 1980, he makes a proposal for two teams to swap cities. What? How is that possible? And an additional $50 million going to Ballard. Now you think, wow, that's not a good deal. What would have been a great deal for Edmonton?
No, they would have lost Gretzky.
No, but the team swapped cities.
Right. Gretzky would have played in Toronto.
I know, but the team would have. Pocklington still would have owned the Toronto team then.
Yeah, but you said it would have been good for Edmonton.
I meant Edmonton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and in fact, that's what he said. Ballard backed out the last moment, but he, it could have been, he could have made a fortune in Toronto, obviously, because they're making a fortune anyway.
So he owned the Edmonton team.
Pocklington.
And he proposed to the ownership group of the Toronto team.
Well, Ballard, I think, proposed.
So Toronto proposed Edmonton.
Because he was having financial problems. I don't know why, but I guess in the day back then, Toronto wasn't making a bunch of money like they have been for many years. But Ballard backed out. Pocklington was really excited, and he said in his book, I think it was in I Trade Him Again. He did the numbers, and he would have made a fortune in Toronto. It would have been the Gretzky gang in Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
But, I guess, that's what happened. So that's sort of unique. You don't hear that very often.
Yeah.
I guess NHL, would have approved it. I don't know. Probably.
Yeah.
Right? But
so entire franchise would have been.
Yeah, the teams just
They would have just swapped the ownership of the team and the city.
Yeah, you never hear of that.
How would that work with the fans? I mean, that would be.
Well, in Toronto, you got to be excited.
Well, yeah, but still, you grow up with your team, and you're not even moving your city, but you're getting a new. Yeah, go ahead.
It would have been the Toronto Maple Leafs
with
branding,
Edmonton players,
with all the players and everything else just swapped over.
All the great players.
You're still rooting for Toronto if you're a Toronto fan.
Oh, that's
but now
true.
you have Edmonton players.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, so it's just like making one huge trade.
There's a trade that almost never happened. That didn't happen.
All right.
Corey Schneider for Gilbert Brûlé.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
It's my favorite dessert. Gilbert Brûlé.
Oh, great
I was
dessert.
remember I thought he was pretty good, but he guess not.
Well, he had potential. He was a high pick.
Yeah, I always liked him, but he just
didn't work out. Well, one of the weirder ones involves the person you look up to, Barry Melrose. When he was head coach of Tampa, the first year of Steven Stamkos in the league, he was a rookie. And so, obviously, first year would be rookie. You have that situation where he was struggling a bit under Melrose, and he's a young kid. I mean, you got to be patient. There's a right way to do it. But Melrose would bench him a lot. It was a struggle. So one of Tampa's owners at the time, Len Barry, and he had worked out a trade with the Rangers. And I think this included Ryan McDonough and a few other guys for Stamkos. And it was done, basically. I think even handshake between Glenn Sather and Len Barry. But Owen Coleus, the producer that also owned the team, jumped in last second. So the other owner basically, right as it's about to happen, comes in and calls the deal off. And obviously, next year, Stamkos, I think, had his first 50-goal year. Melrose had been fired. I mean, how crazy would that have been? I mean, you give up on the first overall pick like that in his first year. And Len Barry almost did that. And I think Brian Lofton, the GM, we were talking about him earlier. He was the GM of Tampa, I believe, at the time. I don't even think he really knew what was going on. The owner, just one of them goes sort of behind his back. But
so how did that particular trade, how was it exposed? How did the word come out? Not at the time, I'm assuming, just maybe years later?
A lot of it Brian Lofton sort of talked about, and I think people with the Rangers, they admitted that. But, yeah, Lofton.
Later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, not at the time,
Whereas,
but a few years down the line.
If this had happened today, we would have been on Twitter within an hour.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And that segues me into it, something that I learned this week.
Yeah.
Which is a similar scenario with the NBA and the Suns.
Yeah.
And it at least goes along with this idea of trades that almost happened, but it had an insane butterfly effect.
Yeah.
That would be right before the draft, Cleveland Cavaliers knew that Kyrie was unhappy and had a deal in place to send him to Phoenix.
Yeah.
In exchange for Eric Bledsoe, and the number 4 pick.
Yeah.
Cleveland would then flip the number 4 pick to Indiana for Paul George.
Uh-huh.
And they brought that deal apparently to LeBron James. They said, we'll make this deal if and only if you sign a long-term contract. He was unsure about it, so the deal never went down.
Oh, yeah.
But the Suns then, I believe, since have made the number 4 pick untouchable.
Yeah. I think they're going to hold on to Jackson right now, but it's crazy.
But to get Kyrie
for
essentially give away, if you're Cleveland and you're giving away Kyrie Irving and you're getting Bledsoe and Paul George for at least a year and hoping you can re-sign Paul George, that's what you call maximum return versus what they're going to get now. And because of the Twitter element and because everything is public now, everybody knows about everything, and that is the breakup of now probably of LeBron and Kyrie.
Oh, yeah. The thing, they haven't been able to move him yet. And it looks like LeBron's going into his last year with Cleveland. I don't think he's going to stay there after next year.
Wow,
but,
Lakers.
A good chance, actually. Probably them, but a few other teams. Maybe come to Phoenix. Who knows?
Exciting. And we are live from Mod Pizza, located at 7480 West Bell Road in Glendale, 75th Avenue and Bell Road. Come on down, and we're here till 3. Still a lot of good broadcasting left. And we'll be right back after this break.
NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
And welcome back again. You're listening to Real Hockey Talk live, broadcasting from Mod Pizza, located at 7480 West Bell Road, that's 75th Avenue and Bell Road. This is a good place. I'm here all the time, and I can prove that because we have General Manager Conrad West in-house.
Here I am.
Hey, Conrad, how are you?
I am doing well. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, this is a great, I mean, you see me here all the time. You probably see Greg here quite often, too.
I do.
I got to compliment you, really. Your service, the people here are remarkable. And I know it comes from the top, which is you. But really, you walk in and you feel like that young man, I don't even know his name, but he knows my name. I walk in, everyone go, hey, Dave, how's it going? And they're really good people you have.
Oh, they're awesome. They're here giving it their all every day, and it's better every day. So they do a great job, and I certainly appreciate hearing that.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. And service is critical. I mean, not only is your food high quality and delicious, and it's even really pretty quick to get, actually, if you think about it.
Absolutely.
It's fast quality, I'd call it, and it's customized. So the salad, like, look, I'm eating this. By the way, this is a huge salad. I didn't realize it's so big, but I'll do my best. But you pick and choose what you want, the ingredients, same with the pizzas.
Absolutely. It's your world when you're up there. We want you to, I don't want to say have it your way, but you can definitely have it your way up here, and that's part of the beauty of it. When you come in here, we're not going to tie you down to, a certain menu and ingredients and stuff like that. It's your world up there, and our salads, especially during the summer, a lot of folks come in. Some days it's a little hot for pizza, so folks will come in and want to get a salad. We got a new Oreo shake that's doing awesome. Yeah, we brought our Oreos back just the other last week there, I believe it was. So those are some summer refreshers that we got. And then we're also, as I passed out a couple to you guys here.
Yeah,
I could see Greg over there enjoying it. We got our new no-name cakes, and
it looks delicious, by the way.
It
hockey puck shaped.
That's it. Exactly.
It is show appropriate. He's on brand.
Oh,
today,
you
Conrad.
did it
Well
on
done.
behalf of us. That is so cool.
I certainly did.
Drop the cake at the beginning of this.
Yeah, that's right.
Drop the cake.
You know what?
Ceremonial cake drop.
You must be a hockey fan.
I certainly am.
Wow, that's really cool. You know what I tried? It was it last night or 2 nights ago? I think it was 2 nights ago. The cinnamon strips.
Okay.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And you know what sauce I like the best?
Talk to me.
You have 3. You have chocolate, cinnamon glaze, and strawberry. Hey, I'm an expert now. I could probably work here. Okay.
I like it.
And I really love the cinnamon glaze. I thought that was phenomenal. Even though it was cinnamon, the strawberry, great too. Actually, all 3 were good, but my favorite, cinnamon glaze and strawberry.
It's tasty. Everything goes good together. Nice light bake on those guys.
Yeah.
And, about a minute in the oven there. And
that's it. It's quick. So they put a little
quick.
butter on it, cinnamon.
Yeah, cinnamon sugar. That's it. The basics.
Delicious.
Yes, it
you know
is.
what they say? They say that you cannot. They say there's an old. I think it's in business. Quick, good, and cheap. Pick 2 of those because you can't have all 3.
Oh.
And then I stepped into Mod Pizza.
Exactly.
And I got a salad of my choosing with I don't know. We got about 700 or 800 possible veggie combinations up there.
It's limitless.
Delicious. It was quick.
Incredible.
It was quick, and I don't want to use the word cheap because that's negative. It is.
But the prices are very reasonable.
And very reasonable.
That's it. We want everybody to come in here and instead of going out on that Friday when the paycheck rolls in, let's go out and have dinner. Now, we want you to come in make it reasonable and affordable. So a couple of times that week you can come in here, enjoy your experience while you're here, and enjoy the food as well.
And it's good for you.
It certainly
is not overly heavy.
Nope.
No. You can get a lot of veggies. You can get every veggie you can think of. You can get it on a nice. What's the oven situation back there?
We're right now we got a brick oven.
Oven.
We're running that guy at about 730 degrees.
Oh wow!
And that's why it takes those 3 to 5 minutes. Those pies are going to be.
Gets it a nice crisp on the outside, and then it's still a little soft on the inside, right?
Absolutely.
Best
That's
of both worlds.
After. That's what we're after here.
It is a sight to behold.
Yeah, and we didn't mention yet the environment here in terms of it's very comfortable. It's not claustrophobic. You're spread out.
Certainly.
People, you got a couple sections here. It's a nice space. Probably holds, well, let me guess. And see, Eric, let's have a guess. I'll guess and you guess. And Conrad will tell us. I think it probably holds 40, 50, 60, 70 to 80.
We're right about there. Yep.
Wow, I win.
Oh, I guess I don't have to guess.
Yeah, that's it.
I was going to guess 75.
Oh, then we both would have won. Yeah, but it's comfortable here. And what's the busiest time for you guys, by the way?
Usually Friday nights, Saturdays, and I have a good lunch on Sundays.
Sunday lunches.
Yeah. And then those are when the pizzas turn here. Usually have a decent dinner throughout the week, but on the weekends when a lot of the folks are out, and especially now with the kiddos back to school, when those guys are out on the weekends, we're tending to see a little bit more.
Wow, that is so cool. And what are your hours again?
So right now, Sunday through Thursday, we're going to be open 10:30 in the morning till 10 at night, and then on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 11 at night.
That is really good hours.
Yep.
After a movie, come here, right?
Come on in, get
There's
a pizza.
There's a movie not far from here, Harkins.
It's pretty close.
Oh,
so
AMC too,
Come
right?
on by. Yeah, we got a few around the way here.
And what a great place. Have a salad. And we got a little, you got a fan club here, by the way.
Jeez, I know. I'm the man of the hour
All
here.
eyes.
Everybody's.
And who are, do we know?
These are folks that I've had the pleasure of working with in the past that are working with our marketing team over here. So they came in to see me.
Oh, wow, really?
See my face turn red here and everything else.
So they're part of the marketing team?
Yes, they are.
Let's see, you're going to give us a thumbs up or what? A double thumbs up. Can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen?
We must be doing all right here.
I did talk to some really nice lady up in Seattle as part of the marketing team. I forgot her name, but really nice.
It's probably Charlotte. She does an awesome job up there.
Yeah, she's really good.
They all do.
Speaking of marketing, you've got probably 75 or so faces up on the wall here.
We do.
Photographs and such. Can you tell me a little bit about that? What's a guy got to do to
Absolutely
be enshrined in the mod?
Got to be
Wall
on
of Fame?
NBC Radio.
Well,
Real Hockey Talk.
That's it.
I checked
That's
that
step
box.
Step one, you're there.
Put me up there.
Step two, we'll have to get you a T-shirt, get you behind the counter, and maybe catch you on one of these opening days here. And
oh, wow.
That's where the majority of a lot of our pictures come from here. These walls, these are our mod wall here. And in every restaurant you go into, every mod restaurant, they're going to be different. You notice up there what we like to have up there is not pictures of our food, because our food speaks for itself. You see a lot of smiling faces between the customers and the folks that work here, and that's what we're about. We're about the people and the experience that you have when you come in here for 5 minutes to pick that pizza up, or an hour for your dinner with your family. Yeah. So
it's a family atmosphere.
Absolutely,
isn't it?
That's what we're providing here.
Now, the company itself is on the fast track. I mean, it just shows the quality, the greatness of this company. Because how long has it been around?
We've been going since 2008. And actually, just a little segue there. We just landed for our second year in a row on the Inc. 500 list.
Oh, wow.
So it's awesome to be able to say that. Love working for this company, and it's a great place to be.
Well, they're lucky to have you, too. You are really so multi-talented, but just a good person, too. I think that's what it takes, actually. If you're a good person and talent like Conrad, you got it all. And I know your employees like you, and it reflects. You could feel the energy when you walk in with certain top management, and as well as the whole staff, if they have that passion, that happiness. And I'll give you an example. try walking into, I probably shouldn't say this, but I won't pick on a certain department, but a government agency.
Oh.
And there's a certain one that you walk in, and it's like walking through quicksand. I mean, I won't say who it is. Some department. Yeah, but, that's how it is usually. It's just how it is. I'm not saying any criticism.
Understood.
But other places you can, in other words, you can feel the energy of the collective consciousness of who works there. And I got to tell you, Mod is enlightening. It's light. It's passionate. It's just something that people should come on down.
You're hit. That's absolutely. You must be hearing me over there calling out the pizzas.
It's great.
That's what we're going for here, and just a great brand, awesome concept. I can't say enough about the company.
Yeah,
I certainly appreciate the kind words.
Oh, there's no doubt. And you've been here how long?
We're just over a year here in this location.
Really, a year here. And is this where you started? Did you start with the company earlier?
I'm coming up on 2 years with the company.
Nice.
In about 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good anniversary.
Happy almost anniversary.
Marketing team, what are we going to do for Conrad?
Well,
all right, there'll be something going on. Maybe a Vegas trip. I don't know.
Hey,
no, I'm kidding.
Well, we do got a new hockey team there, so
Yeah, so you love hockey, huh?
I am a fan of the game for sure.
Do you have a team?
I do. I got two. Being here in the desert, the Coyotes are my home team, but and I've brought this up before with you guys, but I got into hockey. I'm originally from upstate New York. Went to college in Buffalo, and when I was in college is when I really started to get into hockey, and they had the Sabres out there. So started following those guys.
You're too young to remember the French Connection line.
It was those guys were a couple of years before me. I came around in the early 80s, but I've done a lot of reading, watched some videos, and those
good
guys
stuff.
are awesome.
And they're on the up. Buffalo's coming up.
They are.
Yeah, so they got some pretty good players now, and we'll see them soon in the playoffs probably. So
I'm hoping I'm going to get back there for one in the winter when I can sneak away here for
you
a
have
week,
family out there still?
Yep, my folks are still back there. So
you grew up there, huh?
I did.
How cold was cold? I mean, it's cold, right?
Man, yeah. That's why I'm here. That's one of the main reasons I'm out here, because dealing with the snow and the cold and all that business for 25 plus years, enough was enough. So
well, I got to tell you,
this is more welcoming.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And let's see, was it last year? No, 2 years ago I went to the draft in Buffalo, and what a setup they have! It is phenomenal. It connects right to the hotel there.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I forget.
There's the Marriott right there, and then there's the you got the stadium, the hotel, and then they got the sports bars and all the shopping.
The sports bar is what is it? 596 or something?
716.
Unbelievable! This TV is like it's bigger than the sky.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
They do it proper there.
It was really nice. I very much enjoyed being in Buffalo. Of course, it was in June.
Yeah.
So I didn't see any snow.
No.
I should have made plans to go to Canada, and I didn't. I don't know why.
Right across the right across the way there.
St. Catherine, across the river.
Yep.
Right? Wow.
Right there.
I know Buffalo, and I don't know why. But anyway, so Conrad, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's so fun being here. We've been here, I think this is the third, maybe fourth time
Third or
over
fourth,
the year or so. And we always appreciate being here, appreciate you. And
thank you.
And thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for giving me the time, and anytime.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Conrad.
Thank you, Conrad. I was going to play a game of Name That Accent. As I told everyone last week, I'm an accent connoisseur, but
all right,
we gave it away already.
Oh, Buffalo?
Yeah, Buffalo.
It's a Buffalonian accent?
I guess you could go with it.
I don't know. I heard a Wisconsin, Michigan at first, but I didn't spend enough time with Conrad to make that call. So when he said Buffalo, I thought, okay.
That was close enough.
Right along that same line.
It's not. It's
close,
a subtle.
Right?
It's a subtle. I wouldn't have known. If I would have talked to you for 5 more minutes, I would not have known, because I would have removed my Michigan, Wisconsin guess, and that you would have had me stumped.
If he was from Canada, how would it sound? Do a sample.
A sample of Conrad?
Yeah, like an accent, like about.
Oh,
how do you say that? About.
Would it be Maud Pizza? Maud Pizza?
Yeah, that one. See, you've been to Canada probably quite a bit.
I've been up north a couple of times. It's been a few years, but I did spend some time up there when I was.
Have you been to a Toronto game? I guess you can't get in, actually.
I haven't been to a Toronto game. I have been to the city, but I haven't been to a game. I'm hoping.
Close by, right? It's not far.
Yeah, right. I want to say, if I recall, it was a couple-hour drive to get around the lake.
It's hard to get tickets in the Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the Boston Red Sox. Very tough. I mean, what can you do? It is what it is. So, Conrad, thank you so much.
Conrad.
Thank you, guys.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so there we go. Another episode of Mod Pizza, 75th Avenue and Bell Road. Come on down. This is so good out here.
It is impressive. This is my first time at a Mod Pizza. It is
good?
clean. The food is terrific.
Oh, yeah.
It is. You can see why they're a successful.
They're growing like crazy.
500 Inc. 500 company. I wish I had this idea 10 years ago.
Well, if you think about it, 2008 is not that long ago, and to grow, I think, in hundreds of stores already, well, you got to have everything going for you, and they certainly do. Yeah. I don't know. It's one of my favorites. Greg, you too. You love it here.
It's amazing. I mean, not just the concept, obviously. Everything's quick. The atmosphere is great, but, yeah, the food is amazing. You have the salad. I love the salad.
Really good.
Usually I get the pizza, though, because I obviously never go wrong.
And that's good, too, though. I mean.
And just all the different.
How was the hockey puck cake?
That was amazing, too.
So, like
you got the cream filling. Yeah, it was good. The other thing with the pizza, too, is that it fills you up, but you don't feel, tired after.
Same with the salad.
It's like healthier ingredients.
Yeah, you like it, too, right?
I do. I'm mid-bite. I'm almost finished, but.
You should have got the big one.
It's outstanding.
I'm halfway done. I can't believe I got that. That's just ridiculously huge, right? And very reasonable prices. I mean, for that salad, it's craziness.
It's hearty.
Maybe we should get some cinnamon strips before we leave.
If you want, you go for it. I love them.
They're very light. And
they are.
The calories aren't that bad, really.
Yeah.
I mean, really, if you look at it, it's on the wall. I think 100 calories if you get the.
Something
glaze,
like that. You can get
glaze.
Chocolate sauce with it if you want.
You like that, though. I like the cinnamon glaze.
Yeah. I mean, I'm normally not really a sweets person as much, but yeah, no, it is good and unique. And but you got shakes, floats.
I haven't tried the shake, but I'm looking at Oreo cookie shake. That would be really good, in my opinion.
Yes.
Also,
try that.
Also supporting local, we've got Papago Brewery, Orange Blossom Ale, and Santan Brewing Company Devil's Ale on tap here.
That's pretty
good. I'm a fan of supporting local when you're getting draft beer, which is the preference. The preference, right?
There's no doubt.
Cans, bottles, and cans. Just clap your hands because they're not quite as good as draft. But
I just clap.
I'm a big fan of the Devil's Ale, Santan Brew.
So, Greg, you met some of the marketing team?
I did, but real quick though. Very good. Is that? Before ruben-paul, our comedian, joins us.
Oh, that's right.
I know, Eric, we want to talk about McGregor and Floyd. And there's some stuff you learned, I think, on it.
Yeah, some stuff I learned. Yeah. So, to me, this is a universal topic. I'm not a boxing insider. I'm not an MMA insider. I'm kind of a casual fan. I hear about it when it's big news. But this, to me, is a big deal because the estimation is that this fight next Saturday night, is going the over-under on what they're guessing as far as pay-per-view purchases is $5 million. Now, the biggest fight previous to that, boxing-wise, you had Mayweather, De La Hoya. I want to say that was about 7-8 years ago, kind of when Mayweather became a household name. That was $2.5 million buys. Yeah. Then 2 years ago, you had Mayweather-Pacquiao. That was $4.6 million, almost doubling the previous. So they're thinking that this fight is going to be
more
the biggest fight in history. It's
even above Muhammad Ali, Frazier, and Foreman fights?
I don't know how many pay-per-view purchases there were for those.
They were in theaters, actually. Well, were they at home, too? I think at theaters back in the day. So maybe it was a lot less.
Yeah, it's way different the way things
are
now.
It's a whole different
so
deal.
That's why,
a lot of these places, sports bars will have these fights.
Yes.
But you got to still pay
It may be a cover. Some that don't have a cover may have to put a cover on this one.
Potentially.
Most do, yeah.
So if there are hypothetically 5 million total buys, $100 each, that's $500 million in revenue just for the TV, not including the gate and the ticket prices.
Man.
So if that's the case, we're talking about a purse that's bigger than McGregor's ever seen in his life.
Oh, yeah, MMA, I don't think they get
no.
I mean, they're on the up, but, uprise. But
yeah, only a couple mil. I mean, come on now.
McGregor's...
he's going to make some money.
Yeah, and those guys are UFC is the draw versus the names, so to speak. So the current odds right now, they when they opened up, Floyd Mayweather was a minus 1,000, 10-1 favorite. Justifiably so. He's probably the best technical boxer of all time. He's in the argument. He's never been knocked down. He's really hasn't been hurt. He's never lost. He's 49-0. And Conor McGregor is not a boxer.
Yeah.
He is certainly probably the next closest thing to boxing. But MMA, from what I see as a casual fan, is a different skill set in a completely different arena, pardon the pun. Currently, Floyd Mayweather is only a 4-1 favorite.
So it's been going down a bit.
Extremely. And
wonder why.
It's the same instinct that I had when I first heard about this fight. This reminds me of a fight that happened, by the way, 22 years ago today, to the day.
Let me guess.
August 19th. 1995.
Muhammad Ali and the wrestler.
1995.
22 years. Yeah, that was way before.
Remember that?
It was Mike
Mr.
Tyson, Peter McNeely.
Oh, okay.
Tyson's first fight out of prison. At that point, broke pay-per-view records. If you remember, it lasted less than 90 seconds.
Oh, man.
And it was a fiasco and a circus. And in my opinion, and McNeely at the time, not deserving of being in the ring with Tyson.
But he had both ears on when he left.
He did leave with all parts of his ears intact.
Well, I think I remember the fight after the ear thing where he fought Lewis, I think, in like the early 2000s, maybe like 2002. And I think Lewis won the fight, and Tyson afterwards kept saying, he's a fabulous fighter, he's magnificent. And he kept just repeating it. It's like, okay, dude, we get it.
Well, it became a show in that regard.
Yeah.
And I think that from an outsider's perspective, not an insider, this is a circus.
Yeah.
Mayweather McGregor is basically just, it's not a boxing match per se. McGregor is a fighter. He's a striker.
Right.
He knocks guys out, but he's not a technically trained boxer. And boxing has its own unique, restrictive set of rules that MMA does not have. So for Floyd Mayweather to only be a 4-1 favorite is
concerning.
It's insane. Well, I think that what people think and what I thought originally was that McGregor has his only chance is to just land sort of not a lucky punch, but a single knockout punch. Early. It's the
and then
only
get him down on
got.
the campus and pound and ground. You're not allowed to do that, though.
Yeah, you can't do it. So
if he could, there'd be, there's no doubt who would win this fight.
If it was an MMA fight,
it would be lights out.
These are different sports.
It's true.
A guy that I read and that I listened to compared it thusly, that Floyd Mayweather is a specialist. He's a 100-meter dash runner. McGregor is a decathlete. He does a lot of things well. Mayweather is a specialist. So this fight is the equivalent of a 100-meter dash when Mayweather is Usain Bolt versus where McGregor is a gold medal decathlete. He can pole vault. He can throw a javelin. He can run hurdles, all really well combined. But when you restrict the rules, there is no ground and pound. There's no kicking. There's no grappling.
It's all boxing. So here's the question for both of you. In a street fight, who wins? Oh, that's obvious. That's obvious, right?
A street fight would be an MMA fight, essentially. So I would assume that Mayweather would be smart enough to not go near that, but Conor McGregor is the best.
Well, that's why the marketing is all hype, because there's no way Mayweather would get in this guy McGregor's face if it's serious, because that'd be serious damage.
Of course.
Well, the other thing, and one reason there's been talk of why it's now just 4-1 is McGregor's team has hired some former pro boxers who were just fantastic. A gentleman, Rocky Balboa.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Apollo Creed, the late Apollo Creed's son, is going to help him as well. And they've even befriended Ivan Drago now, who unfortunately ended Apollo's life, but they're now friends with him now. And so
you mean the Russian guy?
Yeah. So they got everything.
And then you know who the trainer is? Putin. And the trainer for the other guy is Trump. A guy named Trump.
Trumpovitz.
That's
so
a Christmas song.
Potential easy money if you are a one who places wagers on things.
Are you going to place a wager?
I don't. I don't do that kind of thing. I would never think to do that. But 4-1 odds, my goodness, for the best fighter in history who's never been touched.
Yeah.
His only advantage, his biggest advantage is he's never been touched. McGregor's only chance is to land a single knockout punch.
And
I'm
I
pretty
think
sure
he will.
Floyd Mayweather knows how to.
I think he
Greg
will.
thinks
He's going
it's
to go
happen.
right in, and they'll.
3.5 to 1 you're going to get if you like McGregor.
Yeah. 3.5.
That's it. It's crazy. It's like kind of like when
I would do 10 to 1, but not 3.5 to 1.
10 to 1. Well, it was 10.
It was the other day, right?
Remember? Did you guys watch when Usain Bolt raced a racehorse?
Yeah,
that's what this is.
Basically, yeah.
And it's going to break records for buys, and the public's going to get fooled.
The horse won.
There was a strange stagger and a head start. It was
a draw.
It was.
And we are at Mod Pizza, 75th Avenue and Bell Road. Come on down. They're open till 11. We're here till 3 o'clock. We were just talking about the McGregor-Mayweather fight next week. Get your reservations in now. I don't know where it is, but it's Friday in every sports bar on every corner in America, even in Boston. Okay, we'll be right back after this break.
Hey, this is Luis Gonzalez of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Join my friend Brian Krebs every Thursday from 8 to 8:30 p.m. on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060.
Yeah. Welcome back to Breakthrough Sports here at Mod Pizza and NBC Sports Radio AM 1060. Mod here is located off 75th Avenue in Bell, across the street from Arrowhead Town Center. My voice is coming back a little. This is Greg, Dave, and, of course, Eric Story. And we're expecting comedian Ruben-Paul to join us shortly. We were just talking about the McGregor Mayweather fight. No one's talking about it. I mean, come on. No. But it's just amazing. I mean, really, when you think about it, I really think that's what will happen. I know nothing about boxing or UFC, but I could just see McGregor. They're going just one right to, and then Mayweather gets a little dizzy, and then McGregor gets another one. Match.
Well, here's what I think.
Go ahead.
Are you sure about what you think?
Not really.
Do it.
But I believe if you look at it, who has taken the more powerful poundings? Well, you look at the gloves on boxers. Okay, it still can hurt, no doubt. But you look on the equipment.
10-ounce gloves for the boxers.
Yeah, 10. But on the MMA, there's really
4-ounce, I believe.
Yeah, and so you figure McGregor can take a punch. I'm just guessing, or a pounding way better than Mayweather. And I think if he, Greg might be right. If he can get a strike in. And Mayweather starts wobbling a bit, it could be over, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What do you think? I mean,
unless
I don't know.
while they're going, if McGregor forgets they're in the ring and starts kicking him or something.
Well, that would. I bet in the contract it said you will not get any money if you throw a kick.
You can bet on that if you think he will throw a kick. 6.5 to 1 odds on yes, and minus 1,800 for no.
Because it could be a mental thing where he's so used to it that he go, oops, I kicked him.
But I bet in the contract it says zero pay. You kick that guy.
Oh, yes, and actually in the news today, Floyd Mayweather Sr. mentioned that there will be a lawsuit if any of that happens because they don't want this. They don't want this to end in a way that.
Right.
Let's say after the 5th round, McGregor's down in the cards, and it's clear that it's not working, and he decides to DQ himself. Or if he decides to throw a kick to Floyd Mayweather's a knee and literally knocks him out, the photograph will then be the next day of McGregor standing up and Mayweather down, and that's going to damage his legacy completely. So there will be no,
and I'm sure there's no. I bet they had a huge penalty of no income for him.
Likely.
I mean, I would if I was
probably
Mayweather.
In addition to then being sued for whatever else his worth is now. That
so
contract is.
I can't. A lot of people said no, he's going to toss one out, but I don't see McGregor doing that. I just think that would completely ruin his reputation.
Yeah, I don't think
that would be like
he's got
completely nuts.
Monetary reasons to do so as well. I have another crazy theory on this. First of all due respect, Greg and Dave, you guys are crazy.
Yes.
Conor McGregor has no chance at winning this fight.
Oh, wow.
Floyd Mayweather is the least hit boxer in the history of boxing. If you've watched his fights, and again, I am not a boxing insider. I don't claim to be one. After the De La Hoya fight, I recorded it. I watched it back.
That's a great fight, by the way.
I watched it back, and I watched it in a little bit of slow motion here and there just to watch what Mayweather did. He cannot get hit. It's like he's on a 1 second delay. You cannot hit him. Conor McGregor will not hit him. He won't let him. How you doing?
Yeah.
So I have another crazy theory I want to throw out there before because I'm not going to be here next week. Floyd Mayweather could throw this fight, intentionally lose a close fight, maybe by decision, setting himself up for two more $250 million paydays. Because if he loses this fight, a rematch is coming. He'll knock Conor McGregor out in the third round of the rematch, and then everyone's going to say, well, it's 1-1, so we have to have a third fight.
Yeah.
Each of those fights is $250 million in
money.
Floyd Mayweather's pocket. He has the opportunity, if he wants to damage his legacy, he can intentionally throw this fight. He could make it look good because he's a technician.
Decision. Yeah.
In any way that would demand a rematch, and he could get 3 fights.
Three the price of $4
billion in this guy's pocket if he wants to. And boxing is a very honest sport. Nothing ever goes wrong. These guys never do anything that's not on the level. So it could happen. I would bet on that happening more likely than Conor McGregor winning.
Well, we're going to see next week
Exhale.
what we're going to do. And
let me get down off my high horse here.
Wow, that was a good analysis from our own Eric Story, giving us the story.
Bet your IRA.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Wow, joining us right now, Rick Bronson's House of Comedy is performing there this weekend. Ruben-Paul. Ruben, how are you?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm happy to be here, and he made a very compelling point about a rematch, trilogy.
I'm
a boxing fan. I'm a boxing purist, but that's probably one of the best arguments I've heard for Floyd losing that fight.
Wow, so do you think
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Who's going to win? If it wasn't,
Well, I mean, to me, it's not even close. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to watch Floyd train up close and personal. One of my friends does security for him, one of the big guys with the TNT hats that are always with him. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, Floyd is such a guy that I know the amount of money that's on the line, so it's a catch-22. He does love money, but I just think his legacy might be a little bit more important than his money.
This is my
makes sense.
My wild theory.
But you had the best wild theory I've heard in a long time.
Yeah,
people have made different arguments, but that was a good one.
So I pitched this to some friends, and they came back and said, "Well, I'll do you one better. He'll win this fight by a narrow decision, which will set him up for a one rematch, and he'll get paid again, and he'll knock McGregor out in the third round of that fight.
Yeah,
and his legacy's intact, and he's now
true.
$250 million richer there.
Yeah, I haven't really pushed my friend Greg to give me some inside scoops about it, but Floyd is obsessed with winning. He trains harder than anybody I've ever seen. I know trainer Alex Ariza, he used to train Manny Pacquiao for years. Trained a friend of mine separately, so I got to spend a lot of time with him. And he was in the Pacquiao camp for a long time, and I guess Floyd brought him into the camp right before they fought, right before he fought Pacquiao.
Yeah,
as a little mind trick thing.
Wow.
And I said, what's the whole thing with Floyd? He goes, I've been doing this a long time. I've never seen anybody train like him. He was like, it's obvious why he's never lost. Like, it's obvious.
Incredible.
Yeah, the amount of work
pound per pound, the best boxer ever, or would you say Muhammad Ali?
I wouldn't say that. I think he's the best defensive fighter ever.
Okay.
Can't hit him.
He's almost impossible to hit if he doesn't want to be hit. I mean, people like to bring up the Miguel Cotto fight, but he engaged Cotto because he felt like engaging him. I mean, if he doesn't want to be hit, he's not going to be hit, even at 40. He's a child prodigy if you think about it. His father and his uncle both were
Jeff Mayweather.
Yeah,
he's been on our show.
They've both been Mayweather Sr. and Roger Mayweather.
Oh, Roger.
Roger. Yeah.
Was it Jeff or Roger? I forget.
He's had gloves on since he was 4 years old.
Yeah, he's been doing
He's
it
like
a
the
long
little
time.
Asian kid that plays the piano, at 3 years old. Like, he's that in boxing. So he's the only fighter I've seen that gets into a ring. He dissects his
He's
opponents
like the Wayne
within a couple of
Gretzky
rounds.
of boxing.
Yeah, he breaks you down, man. After the third round is over, I went to the Shane Mosley fight. And Shane Mosley caught him. Remember, Shane caught him with that punch and kind of wobbled Floyd. Then the next round, he just completely shut him down.
Oh, wow.
Completely. So it's
no contest. In other
I just don't think it is. McGregor's a great fighter for his sport, but he's getting into a ring with a master. Floyd was set traps he's never even thought of seeing before.
Wow. Are you going to watch it?
I'm not going to pay for it.
Yeah.
But I might the day of. I'm that type of guy, like, man, I'm not going to pay for that.
Yeah.
Then I'm looking at my watch like, I'll pay.
If you go to a sports bar, you could probably get it fairly inexpensive, I bet.
Yeah, I might. I do want to see it because it's a spectacle.
It is.
But
it's history.
Yeah, but if you really use common sense, that's not, people who know anything about boxing knows Conor doesn't really have a chance.
It's like a lion and a lamb, really.
Yeah. But they're doing a great
the
job
lion's
of
going to
pumping
win,
it.
right?
Yeah.
But the lamb will be doing not bad, right? Oh, that's a goat. Okay.
Wow.
All right. What do you think? Can I be a stand-up comedian?
Maybe.
Probably not.
Not
like you, though.
You'd have to come by the House of Comedy. We'll give you 5 minutes and see what you got.
Oh, I would not do good. I bet Greg would probably
We'll let the audience decide. You want to come, Greg?
There we go.
Yeah.
I think you were on our show about 8 months ago.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where were we?
Kona Grill.
Kona Grill. We're at the Kona Grill. And
that was a lot of fun.
That was a great time,
Yeah.
man. You had an ex-football player on. I can't remember his name.
Oh, was it Ed Smith?
Ed Smith.
It was
yes.
Ed. Yeah.
That's great.
That was great. Yeah, he was great.
He has his own show now.
Oh, awesome.
He
Good
does
for
great.
him.
He's truly one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And quite a story. He has a book out on how he just a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, it was
so
really
tell us, Rick Bronson's House of Comedy, you're back
I'm back, man. Yeah,
What's going on?
they had a cancellation, and they called me up and said, hey, could you come and fill in this week? And I love Arizona, and the fans have been good to me here.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah, I'll come. So I came here Thursday, and I have two shows tonight. And one show tomorrow. Tonight is 7 and 9:30, and then tomorrow is 7. So come on out. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Lots to talk about, lots going on in the world.
A little bit, huh?
Is that what you do? You keep up with current...
I talk about current events and how it affects our lives, every day. But I just think people need to get out and laugh. I think if anything
I agree.
that we're seeing with the climate, what's going on in the world, what's going on in Spain, what's
Very
going on
tough.
here,
Yeah.
people need to escape and come out and just laugh and think and have a good time. And that's what I provide.
And there's no better place to escape than in High Street.
Yes, yeah.
Or on High Street.
And to go
or both.
and go see comedy, man. People support live comedy. I have lots of friends who never really go out to see comedy, and then I finally get them to come to a show, and they go, man, like I felt great. You know what I mean? It's a different experience. You're letting those endorphins out in your body, and you just feel better about life and yourself when you leave. And that's what's great about going to see comedy. Other than maybe going out and just going to see a movie or going to do something else.
The live stuff is always better.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
I'm a believer that laughter is I'm going to get preachy, philosophical,
Please do.
and sentimental here at the
Please
same
do.
time. Can I have a hanky in case I start crying?
Yeah.
I think laughter is the greatest thing that there is.
Yeah.
I think
Who invented laughter, though? I want to know.
Alfredo laughter.
Oh, okay. I was
Alfredo
sure.
J. Laughter.
It's a part of our DNA, but finish your point.
Yeah.
Because it's to have such a feeling of joy and happiness that it erupts vocally.
Yeah.
It's therapeutic, and
Absolutely,
and I love the fact that going to a stand-up show, you're in a room with hundreds of other people doing it, and we've all been to comedy movies where you're the only one in the theater, and it's funny.
Yes.
But we've also been to movies or comedy shows where there's 200 people in the crowd, and the laughter is exponentially amplified.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I think it's a public service what comedians do. I think it's
thank you.
it's a service to yourself to go and check out mentally from all the baggage that's happening in the world, and just let go mentally and enjoy laughter. And you come out. I think it's therapy. I think you come out of there feeling better.
Well, as a comedian, a lot of our humor comes from pain and things that we went through. And, as humans, no matter what race, our life experiences is the commonality, is what we share. So sometimes you might be feeling bad about something in your life, and then you see me on stage and go, I never looked at it like that. My life isn't as bad, or this guy made it through it. Maybe I can make it through it, whether it's you're dealing with sickness or death or any type of depression, to come out and laugh and feel like you're not alone, I think is a great thing. And that's what, a lot of people after shows come up to me, and even if I make a point about something, whether it's socially or politically, it just gives perspective, and we can all laugh together. We don't always have to agree on everything, but it just shows that, we all are in this together, and we have to figure it out.
So do you make political jokes from time to time? Or
From time to time, I mean, in this political climate, how could you not make jokes?
Well, that's true.
If you're not making jokes during this time, you're never going to make political jokes.
Yeah.
But and it's not about bashing anybody. It's just giving
funny perspective
on things that you might not have really thought about or looked at, it, no matter what your political affiliation is. At the end of the day, no matter what your political beliefs are, we should all respect one another.
I agree, totally. Yeah, and that's sort of some problems now.
Yes.
The lack of respect and.
Yeah.
I mean, it is America, so you get freedom to pick who you want and
absolutely
choose what you want. But if you can respect, because everyone does have a valid point of view.
Yeah,
from
absolutely.
their background, from their
experience.
Yeah. And so you can't deny that. So it's good to listen a little and go, if I was reversed in their role, I'd probably think about it the same way, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Absolutely.
Maybe not. But
I think, as human beings sometimes, one thing that we forget is to put ourselves in other people's shoes.
I think that's important.
And even if somebody, I've had so many experiences traveling all over the country doing comedy. I've even had a racist guy come up to me and go, hey, I don't care for black people, but I thought you were funny.
Really?
And, there's a moment of, where you're uncomfortable and a little bit of anger, but then you get into a dialogue, and then you have the opportunity to educate somebody, and then at the end of the conversation, you realize that this person comes from a very insulated, myopic point of view, that they haven't gotten out and experienced other people. They just are really influenced by things that they hear, things that they see, or maybe one specific incident with one specific person, and then they put that on the whole culture. To think anything
generalizations.
And I talk about generalizations.
And that's really good to talk about, and your response is a gift to that person.
Absolutely.
To show, wait a minute, okay.
Yeah.
My response really breaks all the preconceived ideas you ever had.
Exactly.
So I think that's a credit to you.
Well, I try to. That's how I was raised, man, and I judge people from the inside out. That's how I was taught. I don't care what race somebody is.
Yeah.
I'll show you respect until you don't show me any respect.
Yeah. That is really a great.
That's beautiful.
Life philosophy.
Yeah.
Really.
And it helps in comedy, man. My comedy is about inclusion and diversity and perspective.
Sure. And it should be. I like that.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Los Angeles, born and raised, but my family's originally from Haiti. That's where my family's from.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but I'm the only person in my family that was born in the U.S., so I'm proud American through and through. And
no doubt.
Love this country and want to see the best for it and for everybody in it.
Where in L.A.? I grew up in that whole area.
Oh, yeah, we talk about – I grew up in Carson, right on the border of Carson and Compton.
I know where that is.
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
Nice.
And then now I live in Westwood near UCLA.
Oh, that's really that's a cool area.
Yeah, it's a cool area. I've definitely upgraded.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a cool – you got the students.
Thank you, House of Comedy.
Yeah. Thank you, Rick Bronson. Yeah. No, it's a cool area in that, it's by UCLA.
Yes.
Sort of a lot of good, a lot of students.
A lot of students,
modern.
a lot of, it's a diverse city. I have cool neighbors, and it's, I enjoy it. I like being around lots of different types of people.
Now, here's the most serious question I can ask of my radio career.
Yes.
Did you ever go to Mario's restaurant in Westwood?
Oh, the Italian restaurant. Yes.
Is that good or what?
It is good.
God, I worked in Century City for a while.
That's right. I ride my bike to Century City.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave, it's no mod.
Yeah.
But
it's
good.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to partake in some of this.
That's a good place. I mean, good. I think there's a couple of them around.
Yeah.
But it's really delicious.
Yeah.
I got to fly out there and get some. But yeah, I grew up in the San Fernando Valley.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. What high school?
Cleveland High.
Oh my God!
Oh, did we have battles?
Yeah, I went to Banning High School.
Oh, Banning, yeah.
Yes, and we played against Cleveland.
Wow, yeah, you probably
actually lost to them in a preseason game.
Really?
Yeah.
What sport was it?
Football.
Football,
yeah. I was a football player.
I didn't know
if
Cleveland ever won anything. Actually,
they had decent teams.
Did they?
Yeah, they've had
not
decent
in my
teams.
day.
Yeah,
it was probably before gymnasiums were built.
Well, after the leather helmet era, when I started playing.
Guess who I saw there? I think I might have been a senior, maybe a junior. I don't know, but in the gymnasium, they'd have bands. Just before this band contracted with the high school to play for the student body.
Yeah.
And they broke a number 1 hit about 2 weeks before. Name that band. Anyone?
I need
Anyone?
more. I need more.
We need more of a hint.
I know because you've
60s,
told me, so I'll
late
hold
60s.
off. Yeah.
Where are they from? Just say where's the band from?
I think out in the U.S. Late 60s.
We lost the lead singer when he was 27.
Oh, the Doors.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
wow.
Doors they Light My Fire was number 1, and they couldn't get out of the I don't know if they tried to get out of the contract.
Yeah.
Well, is that exciting?
They played your high school? You were there? They played your high school?
Wow.
They just broke their number 1 hit.
That's awesome. That's a heck of a memory to have.
Yeah.
Too bad they didn't have like cell phones and stuff back then. You could have.
Yeah, you could have done
took out your
selfies.
phone and recorded it.
I don't think they even had phones back then. I think they had horse and buggy.
Yeah, maybe.
Or was it the new car? I forget.
A carrier pigeon? Did you guys have carrier pigeons?
We did.
You guys got to get to the show.
That's how you would leave tickets for your friends.
I know, huh?
Yeah. I'll send my best pigeon.
So what have you been doing since we've talked to you? You've been traveling probably?
I've been traveling a lot. Did the JFL, Just for Laugh, comedy festival in Montreal this past year, which is one of the biggest comedy festivals in the world.
Oh, wow.
And just been working. I produce my own show in Los Angeles now.
You do?
At the Laugh Factory there, but we're here to talk about the House of Comedy. But it's a great show that I started, and had lots of support from a lot of my peers, from George Lopez to Arsenio Hall to D.O. Hughley to
Nice.
Bill Burr. Like, they've all come and done my show. It's called Ruby Tuesdays. It's a show that I do there.
Wow. Is that after the restaurant or the song?
It's a play on my name, Ruben-Paul. And people call me Ruby, and it's my show, so we call it Ruby Tuesdays because the show's
Isn't
on
that a
Tuesday
Beatles
night.
song? Ruby?
Yeah, Rolling Stone song. Ruby Tuesdays.
Oh, yeah.
The
I love that song.
They played my high school 2 weeks after they wrote Gimme Shelter. They couldn't get out of the deal. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it.
We were recording it with our cell phones and everything. It was awesome.
So that's been a great thing and gotten a lot of attention from that and a lot of, like I said, support, and that's been going strong.
That's cool.
But, yeah, other than that, just working on a couple of projects, developing a TV show with a guy by the name of Russell Peters, who's a international renowned comedian that I work with. He's out of Toronto. He's Canadian, but he's an Indian-Canadian comedian that's actually one of the biggest comedians in the world.
Oh, wow.
He's on the Forbes list of comedians.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so I came up with an idea for him. But other than that, just performing a lot, doing lots of live shows, and back here in Arizona, one of my favorite comedy clubs in the country.
It is a great Rick Bronson's House of Comedy. The venue itself is so cool. What?
Yeah.
What time again tonight?
It's,
7 and 9:30?
It's 7 and 9:30,
Yeah.
and it's really a great comedy club.
It is.
And they own a few comedy clubs across the country, one in Canada, one in Minnesota. And I have to say, I've worked a lot of clubs, and this is no knock to any club, but hands down, the way they treat the comedians, their service, the way they treat the audience, it's fantastic. It's one of the best clubs in the country that I've worked.
It's just a nice environment, too.
It is.
I mean, it's comfortable. I've been there.
Great food.
Yeah, great food.
You know, the drinks are great.
And
they
Rick
don't
is
skimp on
great.
the alcohol.
And the GM here, Nick, is awesome. He's
Nick is
always
great.
so helpful, and every Saturday usually.
Yeah, the fans are supportive. I mean, Arizona's a great place to come, and I have a ball when I come here. The heat is a little much for me, but
I would
other
agree.
than this heat, I love it.
Wow, that is so cool. Wow, we're getting close to the end of the segment. Is there anything you want to? Anything else? How about contact information? How they can
contact
look at your
information? They can go
schedule
to what is it? Go houseofcomedy.net. Houseofcomedy.net for tickets and information. You can follow me on social media. I am ruben-paul. Ruben is spelled RUBENPAUL. I am ruben-paul. That's how you can find me.
Wow.
And see what I'm up to. I have a lot going on, but most importantly, come see me this weekend. I have two shows tonight, one on Sunday, and I guarantee you a good time. It'll be a fun time.
Oh, I bet it will be. Tonight, 7 and 9:30.
7 and 9:30.
Rick Bronson's
Get your
House of
tickets.
Comedy in and on High Street.
Yes.
I always clarify that. It's in and on High.
In and on High Street.
Because it's called High Street, and it's on High Street.
Oh, okay. All right.
I made that up all by myself.
Yeah, you lost me right now.
Before I got to tell you this story. So there was this great band that came to my high school right before.
They played a little hit called "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
Hey, wait, we have Jim Morrison on the line. Where are you calling from? Okay.
Exactly.
Can we talk Raiders for a second? Because
You know,
Ruben's wearing a Raiders
you're
hat.
a Raider
I'm
fan.
diehard. You know I'm diehard. I'm a season ticket holder.
Oh,
you
yeah?
are? Really?
Yeah.
You get out to Oakland all the
Yeah,
time?
I commute from L.A. to Oakland every home game.
And when Vegas there, you're there in Vegas, right?
I'm there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm there. I support my Raiders. We've been down for a long time, and we're finally on the upswing.
We interviewed Lincoln Kennedy last week.
Oh, Link, he's a legend.
And Jack Schware, or the Super
Square?
Bowl guy?
Square?
Square, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we interviewed. We were part of the Raider fan club party when they played the Cardinals.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you're a big Raider fan.
big Raider fan. I'm excited about this about the season coming up. I really am.
Oh yeah, with their quarterback back.
Yeah, and I would like to see them, win a Super Bowl for Oakland within the next 2 years, and I think
That'd
it's
be cool.
possible.
I
we
think
got to
so.
straighten up the defense. Yeah, got to tighten up that defense a little bit, but offensively, I think we'll score with anybody.
They're solid.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we're going to score with anybody.
Del Rio's a defensive coach, right?
He has to fix it, man. We need help. I like what we did in the draft. We get in the corner. We do need help in the secondary, and I think our linebacker play can be strengthened. I thought the defensive line looked good the first game.
Yeah.
But I just want to see them win for the fans, because the fans in Oakland are so passionate. I'm from L.A., but part of the reason why I make the commute up there is the experience of the Oakland fans.
Gotcha.
It's nothing like
Oakland
fans.
It is
Quite a
unique
team.
to every sport, much less just the NFL.
I have a friend who's been I'll wrap it up with this. I have a friend who's been to almost every NFL stadium, and I took him to a Raider game with me. I have great seats right on the 50. And he told me at the end of the game, he goes, "Look, man, I've been to almost every stadium, and I've never seen an atmosphere like this."
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, everybody in the stadium has on black. I mean, if you see somebody with a different color, that stands out.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying Raider fans are the only ones who dress up in
That's
team
great
colors,
loyalty.
but just the loyalty and the energy,
The
and
passion.
the excitement, and the passion is second to none.
Well, Ruben-Paul, thank you so much. Rick Bronson's House of Comedy tonight, 7 to 9:30. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Get your tickets.
3 shows left. Come and see me, man. You don't want to miss it.
Wow, it's been an honor and pleasure to see you again.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
Thank you
Pleasure
so
chatting
much.
with you.
Nice chatting with you, man.
And we're at Mod Pizza. Come on down. We're about to sign off. Broadcast. They're open till 11 tonight. Come on down. Say you heard the show. Say hi to Conrad West, the general manager. And again, this is Real Hockey Talk and Breakthrough Sports. We'll see everyone next week. And get ready for the big fight next Saturday. I think I'm going to watch it.
The big circus.
Yeah, the big circus. I think Mayweather will probably win. Well, everyone have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.